the voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.
So disrespectful.
And what's going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Next Podcast. That is right, guys. I came here rushing home from work. It is that week. I ended work at 7 o'clock, took my 30-minute drive home, set everything up, and we are live. We are live for you guys, and we have an incredible show lined up. I am really, really excited to get into this tonight. It seems like there might be a little shade thrown in Sony's direction here. Possibly. I don't want to jump the gun yet, but we have topics, people. We have topics to talk about. Yo, huge shout out to the chat. What is up, people? I see my brother RG Viper X is in the building. What is up going on, bro? Good to see you, Mizzle. What is up, Mizzle? Casket, he was like first or second tonight. He was definitely second. Relzair was first tonight. What is going on? Great to see you guys. Yo, as usual, I got to do this. I'm on YouTube. It is the professional YouTube thing to do. Guys, if you haven't done it yet, and I actually didn't, so I'm doing it right now. Yo, hit that thumbs up button. Share the show out wherever you go to talk games, wherever on social media, whether it's Twitter, that's where I am. Facebook, wherever you go to talk games, with gamers, and let them know that we are live right now, and we are going to get into it, people. Yes, we are, but we can't do that without introductions first. So I am going to start with the West Coast, my West Coast brother. We're going all the way to the other side there. You might know him as Scuba Steve, but he is my brother, Dark Optimus. What is up, bro?
What's up, man? I just want to say the Crab Gamer curse is real. No, but yeah, man. I'm happy to be here, dude, and I'm ready to talk some games, dude. It feels like it's been a long week, dude. To be honest, I don't know why, it just has.
I think it's been a long week, but I've been working a lot this week, so that's where that's coming from.
I think that's what it is. I've been working quite a bit this week, and then some other things happened. So,
guys, I will let you know off air. I was trying to poke Dark Optimus a little bit. I was talking about some of our topics, and he was strong. People, he was strong. He wasn't going to let his opinion out until we were live. He's like, we'll get into it on the show. We will get into it on the show. So, Dark, you got me. You have piqued my interest, man. I can't wait to hear what you have to say on the stuff I was trying to mess with you about off air.
Yeah. I mean, you always seem to do that. So.
Yeah.
Sometimes I fall for it, though.
Yes.
I will admit I fall for it. I'm like, God damn it, bud.
And I'll be like, now I know his angle, I know where he's going, and I set things up to counteract right away.
Yeah, and today I was like, I'm not being fooled today. Not today.
Yo, what is up, Z Black Rider? Yo, Z is in the building, a longtime supporter, longtime listener / viewer, if you watch the gameplay or whatnot. Yo, good to see you, brother. And RG Viper X hitting up that super chat. Thank you so much, bro. He says, when are we going to play Sea of Thieves, MLB, and Destiny 2? You want to play them all? Well, we can't play them all together. All right? And I love Sea of Thieves. It's just that when I start playing Sea of Thieves, the only thing I get concerned about, once you start playing Sea of Thieves, you don't just merely put down Sea of Thieves. So before you know it, the entire day is spent as a pirate. You know, so
It's
that
like it's like that meme with Sean Bean from fucking Lord of the Rings.
Don't just
One doesn't
simply
just
play Sea
merely.
of Thieves.
Yeah.
but do you guys know what I'm saying? Sea of Thieves, man. You'll be like, yeah, I'm just gonna grab a couple treasure chests and maybe call it a
Yeah.
day.
And 3 hours later.
And then and
3 hours
3
later.
hours later, you're in the middle of a fight of your life against like 2 other ships, and there's a kraken, and everything's going insane, and you're like, yo, how did this happen?
Yeah, but I thought the Kraken was lacking, dude.
The Kraken is definitely not lacking when he attacks your ship. I'm just letting you know right now. Like, but
I could have swore.
no. The Kraken is more than plentiful, is what I'm gonna say. I know that didn't rhyme. It's probably not gonna catch
Jesus.
on. But next on the list, you just heard him praying. He was praying, and I heard a doorbell, guys.
Ding dong.
But we're gonna go to New England, and some people, when they think about New England, they think about fall foliage and stuff like that. But now, in this community, when you think about New England, you think about Connecticut, you think about that hashtag crispy truth, crispy bomb. What is up, bro?
Oh, the pride of New England. Yes, I am the crispy bomb. No, but seriously, awesome to be here. Okay, well, it's snowing right now, and then about, I'd say, 10 minutes later, and the sun comes out. Think about that for a second. It is actually one of the most rare occurrences, a sun snow shower. It was crazy, but yeah, I'm glad to be here, and hopefully this day gets even crazier by the end of this, because I'm sure we're going to speculation town, people. I am positive.
Huh. Yo, this is interesting. Predator, your message got deleted by the Google moderator team.
I saw that. I was like, wow.
Dude, we got the moderator team watching. What is going on, moderator team?
Did you see what the link was?
No, I did not.
It was just the link that showed people that have Series S's available, and they fucking cut it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think somebody complained about your God's honesty, huh? You're just like, this is going to happen. Remember that?
maybe Sony signed an agreement with Google. I don't know.
or maybe Google doesn't like Xbox.
Ooh, you know what, Dark? Get the hell out of it. No, I'm just playing. Next on the list, guys, we are going to the Lone Star State, and as you can see in the upper left-hand corner, or as you will be able to see, he is repping Texas hard tonight. Predator, what is up, bro?
Not much, man. I couldn't think of anything to post. A little catchy subliminal comment picture. I couldn't think of one today, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just put a Texas flag up there or whatever. So nothing going on though. My dog's still alive. She's got diabetes, now she's going blind. So like, damn. She's on her last leg. So it's like, yeah, we're just trying to ride it out at this point. So
You know what? She's gonna make you guys wait, and she's gonna get all other ailments and stuff like that, but she's still gonna be kicking for like.
She's gonna milk me. My vet's gonna milk me for like another 2 grams.
Yo, for
and so like, trying to keep her alive.
Like, don't you love your family pet?
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, I got guns. So I'll take care of it myself.
I do, but I don't want to put your kid through college either, yo. Like,
fuck, man. But yeah.
All right, Pred. Well, as always, man, I can't wait to talk to you about this stuff. We got some business side of things, some rumor type stuff to get into. I think people are gonna really want to hear what you have to say about that stuff. But I do got to get through the intro. So next on the list, the man who has been with me from the beginning. That is right, a part of the original squad that started Next Podcast, and for some rhyme or reason, he is still here, yo. My brother K Mega, what is up, bro?
Ready the Armada. We will use the old ways.
Oh, word. Is this Snyder Cut Mega? Mega, if you're talking, we can't hear you. We heard your
Y'all trying to kill me?
Yeah, we heard that. Yo, Mega.
All right then. So like,
Yeah.
just kill the
Okay.
dead air.
All right.
We'll get you in a minute, Megan. Shit.
Mega, we heard your soundboard, but that's it. Not that nothing else, man. So hopefully we get to hear K Mega. He is here though. And as you heard, he is readying the armada. But guys, let's get down to business. And I was gonna start the show tonight singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Now I'm pretty sure the people watching this show, or anybody who has heard me sing at all, is probably happy that I did not do that. But, guys, MLB The Show is officially out now. It is officially released. It's the first year that it is a multi-plat, and it is in Game Pass as well. So I downloaded it. I got a few games in. I got stuff to say about this game, but I gotta get into the panel here. Like, who on the panel has played MLB The Show so far?
I have.
Just a demo.
Nope.
We'll let the chat decide if the demo is enough. So chat, let me know. Predator played the demo. Is that enough for him to get a good idea of the game, and should we hear his opinions on it? So write that in the chat. Let me know. So let's go to
Wow. I get silenced by the chat.
that'll be something. Yeah. But let's go to Dark, because I believe Dark, you're playing it on its home field per se, right?
Yeah, I actually did buy it. I always love the show. I am more of a baseball fan than I am any other sport out there. I always have been ever since I was a kid. So I mean, just playing the show is just it's always a treat every year.
So you play every year then?
I think. I wouldn't say every year. There's probably there's some years where I skip it. I just skip it.
All right.
This
Well,
year
I got to know for context then. I got to know for context, before the show 21, what was the last MLB The Show that you played?
2019 actually. So
okay, so
I
you skipped a year
last year. Yeah, I skipped last year.
All right, that's good to know for the other question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think it's good. There are some things about it that I'm like, okay, they could have improved on this year, but they didn't. I mean, we'll get more into that.
Well, no, like
later,
what?
but...
Like what? Dude, we're talking about the game, and then we'll get into the scoring and stuff like that.
Okay, all right. Well, I think that they could have improved on some of the animations and stuff. I mean, a lot of the animations are just pretty much the same still. I mean, I know they added a few more animations to it. It does look good on the next gen consoles. It does, but I mean, that's the thing. I feel like it could have been better. Because I mean, there's reasons as to why I think they could have been better. But I think that overall the game is a lot of fun. I do like playing Road to the Show. That's my favorite mode
I was
to play.
I was just gonna ask you, what modes have you played so far?
I play pretty much all of them, but I like Road to the Show and I like Home Run Derby. Those are typically like my favorite ones to play.
Okay. No Diamond Dynasty?
I do play some Diamond Dynasty here and there. Not very often though. I like pitching and I like hitting, so I kind of stick to that. To be honest,
I really like the pitching.
Yeah, the pitching. I feel like this year it was pretty much the same. It's been pretty much the same since forever. The pitching mechanics and stuff. The hitting is a little bit different this year. I don't know if last year it was the same because I didn't play last year's, but the hitting's a little bit different. There's a little bit more of a learning curve on the hitting, which I'm not too much of a fan of, because there's like an extra step in order to hit the ball
Well-
this time around, which is weird. I don't know why they did that.
See, you're going into one of my gripes about this game. Like
Mm,
when it came down to it, I went into the menus and stuff like that to see the because they had multiple ways to hit the ball.
yeah, they do.
You know, they have multiple ways to pitch as well. And
Yeah.
to me, I feel like they just took every option from any other baseball game that's ever been made and they put it into their game. And
Yeah.
I feel like it was a little too much. Like pick away and hone in on that and perfect that instead of like just doing a broad stroke and giving all the options, but really not.
Well, I think it's really because they're like, well, we're the only baseball game in town, so we can do this, and it's like, yeah, but I'd rather have you guys hone your skills here, like, I mean, you guys have been around for a long time with baseball, and I'd like to see it be better. But I mean, this year's still good.
All right, I got you. And I will throw in first let's go to Predator because nobody answered me in the chat, so I'm guessing that Predator has a go.
I think playing a demo of a sports game is fine, to be honest.
Okay, so and then you got an extra signature from the Angry Otter himself. So, Pred, what do you think about the game being the demo version? But I mean, you still get the core gameplay and stuff like that. What did you think about what you played so far?
I mean, I haven't played a baseball game in ages, so I mean, it's good to have a baseball game on. K-Mega, we can hear you now. Say something, K-Mega.
Something.
All right, yeah, we got you.
All right.
But I haven't played a baseball game in ages, man. So like, I mean, I didn't know if I was gonna buy this when I found out it was coming to Xbox right out the gate. I might have just gotten an impulse and just bought it, but I'm glad they put it in Game Pass, so I get to play baseball for real now. So, but what I played in the demo was fine. I mean, I'm just not used to those mechanics anymore because I haven't played one in such a long time. So like, pitching was different, fielding was completely different to me. It didn't feel like. I guess I'm going back to my old days, RBI baseball. Like, when I used to play that back in the day. Like, I hit up to go to second base. I mean, and that's still there. It just felt weird because I hadn't played it, I hadn't fielded fielded in so long, just doing that stuff either. So, I'll get it. It's just one of those things I have to get used to doing again. But I mean, I like what I played. So I really can't compare it to any other baseball games because we really, I mean, who played RBI baseball on Xbox? So I mean, so like
I played it when it first came out, but it was way too cartoony. I'm like, no.
Yeah, like we wanted more of a simulator baseball, which we got now. So like, I'll say that I honestly that's the next topic. I'm not gonna get into that yet. But I like what I played. I enjoyed what little bit I played, and I'm like, I don't know if I'll do a full season like I typically try to do on sports games because 172 games is way too much plus playoffs.
So it's 162. You just added
162. Yeah, I added the 10 games because I'm going to make it to the playoffs every year. But I don't know if
which
I'm
is very possible in this game.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll finish the full season. Like I may just go to like play home run derby or something while I'm doing a podcast or something like that to keep me, just to have some fun. But like, I will never play this online just because I know I suck at it. And so,
so that means you're gonna play me then, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I'll let you crush me for like 20-1 or some shit like that.
Well, so, dude, I have been through a baseball drought as well. So I'm getting used to it. I will say I like the pitching more than I like the hitting. There's something.
The pitching was actually fun. Yeah, I actually like being able to kind of pinpoint where I want to put the ball. Fielding for me is gonna be my problem. I can see that now.
I got you, man. Yeah,
fielding's never fun.
There was a couple of times I was supposed to throw it to third, but I threw it to first because I got the buttons reversed or whatnot. So yeah, no.
I will say this though. One of the things I did like when I played the demo, it gave you options of how you wanted to play, how you wanted to bat, how you wanted to field, how you wanted to pitch, so that you can kind of tweak those things. I'm pretty sure. It's like driving stick shift on Forza versus using the automatic on Forza. Like you can probably do so much better just actually adjusting it. But as a novice coming in, I definitely will be using every avenue I can to kind of get it down first. So that's it, man. That's all I got.
Okay, I got you. What is up, Swazi? Yo, good to see you, brother. Cerebral Paul actually commented in the chat. I am shocked, brother. I am absolutely shocked. Great to see you. What is up, Deck? Let's see. I think somebody said something. Oh, yo, Back from the Dead is talking about Destiny 2. Brother, my son gave me the rundown on that. I gotta go back and kind of get all that information, kind of soak it in before I really give you my opinion on that. But yeah, no, I was at work all day, so like it all broke. I know Thursday it's TWAB, but I have to get all that information in. So let's go to the man who is not afraid of sports games. We all know this. He talks about Madden like it's some type of golden goose. K Mega, have you played the show on your Xbox, bro? Did we lose him?
I never can hear him again.
We lost him again.
That's just muted.
He said, see, I know what he's saying. He says, no, because I am a scrub at all types of sports games. People whip my ass all the time.
Definitely.
And
I can definitely see that.
I'm boycotting these sports games.
Oh, there you go.
Watch your mouth.
There you go.
Anyway.
Damn, he got his mic working real quickly.
Yeah. When I hear slander, then I'll get shit working. So anyway. Oh man, absolutely.
Are you gonna tunnel?
Well, I was talking through my camera, so because I'm having problems with my headset. Hold on, let me try to change this and see. Hold on, give me another second.
Oh,
you sound like you're in the toilet, man.
all right.
We're like all waiting for him to fix it.
I was right in the
Where's the
vape.
Jeopardy music when we need
I'm not gonna interrupt my vape real quick.
What about now?
I get my mic fixed and he fucks his up.
Yeah. So what? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sounds better.
All right.
Yeah.
Until I move, because something's wrong with my headset. So now I'm over here trying to do all types of crazy stuff. Anyway, I've played about 5 games so far.
Nice. Online or what mode?
I played when you create your character, then you go into this one mode. It's kind of like
to the show.
Yeah, that's what it is. It reminds me a little bit of what they do with Madden and NBA 2K. With that aspect
dude,
of
they
it.
got my government name. Like they have it in the like they actually say my name. Like I'm
it's cool. Yeah, so but I've just just started that. I was doing the challenges where if you can get so many points, then you can be eligible to get a signed baseball and some other stuff, some other real life things.
Ken Griffey bat and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also I've played some exhibition games because I wanted to get the feel, because I didn't play last year's either. Once I heard I think that was last year, it was last year, I believe.
Yeah, last year.
Out. I was just like, no, I'm not going to buy another. And then it was on PSN, and then I was like, oh well, I guess I'll download it, and I just never played it on the last year's version. The last time I went really crazy on the show was when I bought the Ken Griffey.
2017,
which was really, really, really good.
That was a good one, man.
Me and I was supposed to play with Mooch and a whole bunch of other people, and next thing you know, I played one game online.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started accepting people to come in, and friend me on PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Then next thing you know, I started seeing people say, K-Mag a fraud. He don't play any games. Well, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Like, I mean, I'm over here waiting to play some baseball. What are we doing? And then that's when I said, I shut it down. Nope. I've just, this right here is just going to be for single player games, and I'll just play randoms. Yeah, they won't even know who I am. So forget it. I ain't even got time for that garbage. So I was just like, all right. So, but no, I've been playing it. I will have to agree with what Dark said. Basically, the changes from because I didn't, like I said, I didn't play last year, so I would say the year before. Uh, didn't see too much more improvement. Um, but again, I don't know what all they added to last year's game. So, but yeah, no, that's the one thing too is that when I was hearing your complaint, but it's basically, I mean, it's the only show in town, so of course it's going to take from every baseball game that's been out there, since there's really no competition for the show. So until
Well, dude,
there's another,
I had to
yeah,
watch every single like I would find like one pitching mechanic style I liked, but
hmm
I had to watch all of them to make
right,
sure, and then
yeah, to
I
make
did it
yeah.
with batting, and then I did it with the fielding. So like a half hour later, I got
Are you
everything.
going to complain about that? I mean, that's giving you a lot of options, which I think that's what we all ask for. I mean, it gives you some stuff for for true simulation for the people who are more hardcore with the baseball game, and for people who are novices, it completely gives you options to where it's a lot more easier just to get in and play and
A
enjoy
little
it.
arcadey, right? A
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit
yeah.
Yeah, but
arcadey.
Well,
I
Yeah.
don't like that when like you're gonna go head to head with somebody though. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me or the competitiveness, but
what do you mean? Like, what do you mean when you go to
like
get
that
somebody
you like
competitive?
you're talking about the easier like the
Well,
easier
actually,
versions and stuff. Like
that you can't actually put those versions on when you play
Right. I
play
was just going to
online.
say that. Yeah, like where it's
Yeah.
auto, where the computer does everything. No,
Yeah, you
that
can't
those
do
things.
that.
No, no, no. You got to
It,
figure
it,
it
it
out
takes
yourself.
it takes more skill
okay,
Right.
when you
Right.
play online.
all
Right.
right. As
Right.
you can see, I have not played online yet, so
Right. And then also uh what Pred you was talking about, because I was having a problem with that, because I was downloading gameplay of it and I was having a problem with the fielding, and I'm like, what the hell is what's going on? And the problem is that you have to turn off that. It's called it will say when you go into the settings that it's something with fielding, and it's basic and advanced.
Fielding prompt. Maybe?
No, it's fielding, but I'm thinking, I forget what the actual saying of it is what you could turn that off, because when you try to throw the ball, they'll double pump, and instead of just throwing the ball completely, just straight ahead, because they want you to get that accurate throw. And so I kept pumping it, so I kept catching errors. And I'm like, man, we're in a tight ass game. It's 3-2. Come on. Well, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that you go into those settings and turn that off, then you don't have to worry about, the computer doing that, or you just, kind of pump faking the pass or whatever that was, if that's what was the situation that you was having when you was fielding. But um I like the fact that you can get you can choose whatever that's to you. Now, my batting has improved, but yeah, no, I kind of didn't really like any of the batting at first, and then I was like, okay, I think it's because of the type of pitches that you got to, and the type of pitchers that you got to go against, that you just got to be more cognizant of how you want to hit the ball. Like if you just hit X every time, it's not you're gonna just whiff it. So um, it's better to try to figure out if it's time to bunt, if it's time to do this, that, do that. I don't know. It's just. I mean, I like the show, always have. I just think that it's really good for Xbox gamers and eventually PC gamers to get a hold of a authentic, good simulating baseball game again. I really, really am excited about it. So.
all right, yeah. There's some things I'm pulling off of hearing like all you guys that it's really interesting, and it's going to go into the the like part B of this. But we got to talk to Crispy real quick. Crispy, you haven't tried MLB The Show yet?
Nope, I have not.
Are you
I am
planning on it?
installing it.
Oh, okay.
I am installing it. You guys convinced me because I'm all about those choices, and I know some people might not like it, but I love that. I love that about any game, especially a legacy game. If they're using like attributes from like many games throughout the years and just kind of giving you the option, I always think that's really cool because games have to change in their own way, and people still love that about certain games. So I don't see a reason not to have that, and it also makes me more intrigued. Like at least like me, I'm a type of person. I'll just start out with the home run derby and see what the hitting is, and then the pitching. I'm kind of in most of your corners and just saying like hitting and pitching or like what I'm talking about. I never been really into infield, outfield type stuff. But I would rather be an outfielder.
If you're pitching masterfully, you don't even have to like do anything in the field. You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, and exactly, and on top of that, like if you go through certain parts of it, I've watched enough videos that it's very like sim status. Like you go up to your bat and everything else, and I'm fine with that. I actually used to do that a lot in like Madden and stuff back in the day. But I always look at like, just what, most of you said, it doesn't feel like anything great or new. Well, for the Xbox gamer like myself, who has never played the show, this game is going to be a brand spanking new game that I have never played. No matter how shitty, like Dark thinks it is, I'm thinking it's going to be great. And now,
I don't think it's shitty, dude.
Well, no.
I mean, it might sound like that, but I was not trying to.
I'm just being.
I've just played enough of them to know.
I'm being expletive, and I'm like, well, this is kind of what you're saying because I felt like that playing Madden. You know what I'm saying? And EA kind of lays their hat on Xbox at this point. It should be the best version. Now we're gonna go down a rabbit hole about that at some point. You have enough topics that can go down that rabbit hole. I'm not going to do it right now. All I'm saying is that, it's at the ready to start menu.
Okay.
But obviously I probably can only play certain thing. I'm just going to wait until it downloads and I'm going to start it up. And, I haven't played a baseball game in a very long time. So I'm down to get either kicked or all of a sudden shock people. I don't know which. So I'm down for that.
Nice. And guys, anybody new to the show, all I gotta say is welcome to Next Podcast, the home of white on white crime.
The only podcast with white on white crime.
Dude, that'd be great marketing right there, man. I don't know. I might have to start hitting up Twitter like that. Yo, K Mega, you would help me out with that, right? Would you help spread the word?
Absolutely.
Well, guys, speaking of crime, I every once in a while I see something interesting with a website called MetaWho. Not MetaWho, my bad. Metacritic. For people who follow me, I really don't deal with Metacritic scores and all that good stuff. But I saw on Twitter, going through my news feed, I saw the Metacritic score for the show 21. And the funny thing about that is, again, this is the first year that it is a multi-plat. Somebody pointed out something, and I'm gonna go down the line here. They showed 4 games plus MLB The Show and their Metacritic scores. So let's go, and they're all the show. So the show 2017 got an 85 on Metacritic score. The show 2018 got an 82. The show 2019 got an 86. The show 2020 got an 83. And then we get to the show 2021 has a 74 in its Metacritic score. And then not only that, if you look at the user scores, they're usually in the mid 60s, almost, or mid 6s, almost 7s. I guess they scale from 1 to 10.
To clarify, that is the PlayStation, or is that PlayStation PC?
Let's see. Well, no,
it's not Xbox. I think Xbox.
The 74 is for. Oh yeah, you're right. Well, it's the PS5 in the picture, and it says also on PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X.
Are they separating them all?
I don't know. I think that's just the score. It's the way you would normally do on a multi-plat. It's just one score for the game. Am I right? Like I said, I don't visit Metacritic like that. but I would believe that it's just one grade for the score. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody
you are absolutely true, because you can click on any of them and get a different Metascore. So, I mean, maybe you found the Metascore that I've never seen, because I've never seen one just for all of the platforms, which...
Well, it says also on, so like I don't know. It shows the PS5.
It's
Cover
probably it's probably the PS5 one then.
Okay, so here's the deal. You look at all the scores, right? And obviously, there's an absolute dip going into this one. I guess on PlayStation, and this is Metacritic score. So these are the reviewers right here. I'm wondering, because from what I'm hearing from people on the panel that have played the show, they said the additions really weren't. They're kind of like, really weren't that many. A lot of the stuff that's in this game have been in previous games and stuff like that. So I'm like, if previous games got up into the 80s, what made this one get into the low 70s? K-Mega, what's going on with this Metacritic stuff? Because like I said, I'm not really into this, man. Why is this game getting scored so low? What are your thoughts, bro?
Call me a mid chicken strip, but that's okay. Sorry.
Dude, I got Taco Bell waiting for me too.
Man. Hold on. Let me take this last little thing.
You want me to go, bot? I can go.
Yeah, I think we just skip.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, my mic went out for a second. Sorry.
All right. Sorry about that. I
there
didn't
you
want
go.
nobody to hear like I want to. Anyway.
Yeah,
so,
no, we didn't want to hear that.
Yeah, we didn't want to hear that. All right. So, to me, I mean, because I've seen it on the net, I just laughed at it and just kept playing the game. Because for me, what this does, and this is actually coming from reviewers, I know I've seen the user score, which was absolutely atrocious. So what I'm looking at it, when I look at that, I just think of like, damn.
User score is like 4.8, like below 5.
Yeah. Like, I mean, this is the thing that we were talking about the whole time about Metacritic, and how it is just it really isn't the safest place to go look for gaming information and to see if that game is really worth your time or not, because there's too many people that influence if the game is going to do well or if the game is not. It's just because there's too many people has too much passion on either side that wants to see the game fail. And to me, until Metacritic gets that fixed, until they start giving out the names of the reviewers and even some of the you see the usernames out there when they'll say whatever, but if they start holding these people accountable more often, I guarantee you'll get a better score for a lot of games. Because it's not only unfair to us, the gamers who go to that site and want to find out and see if this game is legit or not, it also hurts the developers, and the publishers and everyone else, because the people who spend the money to go into these games to help see if these games get through and hopefully become a success. This right here, thank goodness that this is a sports game, because Madden got destroyed last year. And so we know Madden's going to come back. We know the show is going to come back. But if this was another game that got hit like this, who knows? I mean, we're going to get it in the thick of the weeds here a little bit later on some other topics about that. And to me, it's just it just makes Metacritic look bad because they don't police enough. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, K-Mega, the Metacritic score itself is based on reviewers, like not just anybody that can go in and just kind of type comments and rate it. So you got so-called professional reviewers, and they're knocking it down about 10 notches.
That's what I'm saying, right? It just comes to it tells you right there, that game is not that much different from the game that came out last year. We all know that. I think that 2017 is. I didn't play last year's game, but I have played the other. I've been playing ever since 2012. And the game, it does just like how Madden and NBA 2K, you get, once every once in a while they add, a little bit more, make the graphics push a little bit better, things like this. This game is, you can tell that they were just wanting to make sure that they had a decent port for everywhere that it's going to go, and they didn't add the true enhancements like what you've seen with Madden or with NBA 2K, but and also with FIFA. So what's that telling me? They might have another version coming through. But if not, it's still a win for everybody because the game is a multi-plat. And I think that there are reviewers, maybe some who aren't into sports, had to review the game, and they just gave it a bullshit score because it is a sports game. And by some ridiculous asshole reason, there are gamers out here that thinks because it's a sports game that it's not as important as other games out there. When sports games generate a lot of money to go into these companies to make some of the games that you play now. It's a big business. So again, it could be that factor, and then the other factor that could be is just the fact that the game is no longer with PlayStation. And I hate to say that, but it seems like that game shouldn't take that much of a drop off, especially me playing it, and it feels just as good as 2019's game. So I don't know, and you know what I'm saying. So I can't wait to listen to the rest of the panel on this one about it too, because I just think it's just biasness, to be honest with you.
All right, so guys, this is a monumental day when it comes to me and people who follow my channel, because I just went to Metacritic just to figure out what was going on. They only have one Metacritic score. There is no, MLB The Show for Xbox score or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and it's
no, that's not right.
That's not
right?
correct. No.
Nope.
So they have
if you look-
4. They have PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox Series, and they have PlayStation 5.
Huh.
So
look at
you
the
can
very
tell I
top.
visit this place a lot because
Right
I
now-
just don't know how to use it, man.
right now,
What are the scores?
PlayStation 4 does not have a score. Xbox One does not have a score. Series X is with only 4 reviews at a 79, and PlayStation 5 is at 22 reviews at a 78.
Yeah, so it's jumped up
They
4%.
both have. Well, let me finish. They both have 90 ratings per user. User on the PlayStation 5 is a 4.9, and for Series X is a 7.4.
Oh wow.
So that's the difference I see. And they have the same amount of ratings for user. So,
Well, Crispy, go in. What do you think? What do you think's going on here, then, man?
after listening to you guys, it's like I said before, I have never played the show. I have played the 2K series many times, RBI when I was even younger, and many other baseball games that were very corny compared to a simulation baseball game. Really didn't get into that until, the Sega Saturn days and stuff like that, like really getting into the baseball. Ken Griffey, it was made by EA, I believe.
Ken Griffey, dude.
Yeah, it was made by
yeah.
EA, I believe. It was a great game. So I remember those days. I have not gotten into the show, and I feel like that may be the problem. And it's not. I'm not hating on either or. One fan base has played it for years, the other hasn't. And, like I said, for me, it's a brand new game. And you can't judge it off of its predecessors. So I actually think MLB is pretty damn smart at this point. Because if you think about it, maybe that fan base is getting stale, and they might not be losing a ton because, I heard the most it ever sold was like 2 million or something like that. Yeah, so they're not losing a lot, but they were losing enough to say, like, this is just not working here. And now you get a brand new eyes. Like, there's plenty of gamers like myself who have never played the show, I'm sure, because there was a point in time where we picked up the 360 and got rid of the PS2 and said, that's my console. And you might have played Gears or Halo, and you've been like, dude, that's it. I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I need in my life. And that might have happened, but at the same time, we still have a craving for baseball because, like, a lot of us that, you know, eventually gravitate towards Xbox, you know, the hardcore, you know, craziness that it had in it, especially in certain points of times, that it was like, yes, I need this in my life. And now all of a sudden you're like, well, Sega did the same thing except with sports. And that's why I'm kind of surprised that, you know, 2K didn't try to, you know, revamp that license, because at the time, you know, you're going into a new contract with Sony. You could have probably, you know, kind of taken it right out from under them, but you didn't. So clearly there's something that
MLB,
Sony does
the
better.
The last MLB that 2K made sold horribly, man. Like, the last
but you know what I mean? Like,
iterations.
you know, it's just like EA, like, every once in a while you see NBA Live pop up. You know, you're just like,
Yeah,
oh,
but then
wait,
it goes away again.
that's a
like,
thing.
Like it's meant to.
But yeah, you know, and that's the point. Like, you know, innovation needs like a couple people trying to innovate differently. The problem is when the two mains go at it, it never happens because the two mains have their own spot. EA has FIFA and NFL, and, you know, Sony has baseball, and then, you know, 2K has basketball. And, like, I think at this point, like, everybody's just happy with that.
2K
And
also
for
has
me
golf,
as a sports fan, okay, golf now.
Yes.
But, I mean, a lot of people went to Tiger Woods not long before. So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
EA's bringing back golf, too.
yeah,
so.
Don't sleep on EA. Actually, EA
and 2K's
made a
bringing
pretty good
Tiger
golf
Woods.
game.
There we go.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Well,
dude.
well, maybe now all of a sudden 2K is going to turn into Tiger Woods, because Tiger Woods will be like, hey, my license is up. Here you go. You want it? And
So,
they'll probably
hold on.
pay for it.
Tiger's license is up. You trying to say he can't drive?
He probably shouldn't drive, should he?
Oh, no.
But,
No,
you know,
Jokes.
trying to run over his woman and stuff, and you know, just smashing
No,
the
she
thing
tried to
into
run him over,
oblivion.
man. What are you talking about?
Doing 70 plus miles an hour on a road that you should have been doing like 30, 40. Yeah, it sounds real smart to me, buddy. But yeah, on that point, all I got to say is that we need these IPs to be allowed to other companies besides these specific ones. And I understand getting paid for money and all that happy horse shit. But at the end of the day, competition, you're paying, multiple places can pay you and bring competition upon that and make better games. And each game can one up each other. This is competition, people. We need it. We need it in especially sports games at this point. Because even NHL, I feel like EA kind of owns that. And, you know, our Canadian brothers probably don't like that sometimes. So, you know, for a PlayStation gamer to be like, I am really critiquing this MLB The Show 21. Yeah, you know what? I agree. It's just like if you played Gears for the first time and you never played it, you know what? You might be enamored at some point. You might be like, damn, I never played this game, and I'm sad that I never did.
You know,
and
that's
my point.
The sad thing here when it comes to the user score, the sad thing here is like it's the PlayStation version of the game getting a 4.9, and you know when it comes down to it, it's not because of the game, and the sad thing here is it really wasn't like you know, the developers' fault on this, and it really wasn't Sony's fault. When it comes down to this, MLB wanted their game to be out there like NBA 2K and stuff like that, to get those numbers, and they felt they couldn't do it on one platform. So MLB basically told Sony, like, your development studio can continue to make the game as long as they make it a multi-plat. So it had nothing to do with Sony or their development team or anything like that. and you have users like bombing the user score. That's the sad thing about it. It has nothing
But
to do with Sony.
here's the worst part of this, Bod, is that it had nothing to do with Sony, but it did, because they wouldn't allow to publish on other consoles. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the way Microsoft is acting, if Sony freaking played ball, they wouldn't care. They'd be like, you know what?
Ball to be played, like they did play ball because MLB was like,
No,
we need this as a
all
multi-plat, and they're
Xbox
like,
did is say,
okay.
MLB, we need this on our console. We're gonna pay you as much as you could possibly pay them to develop the game. We're gonna pay you just to have it on Game Pass day and date. And I guarantee MLB was like, well, shit, we spent millions upon millions. Like, why not do it? I mean, with the virus and everything else, like at this point, people are trying to make money where they can. And I'm sure Microsoft threw them a freaking bag to get this game on there.
I mean, you don't know.
And I understand that it's not Sony's problem, but they had
It's
to
not
know
Sony.
before.
But this has nothing to do with Sony. It has nothing to do with the development studio or anything. Why this game is multi-plat, and yet these people decide that this is what they're going to do. This is how they're going to react. They had 2 years? Because I think the announcement was 2 years ago that the show was going multi-plat. They had 2 years, and they just let it stir and stew inside them for 2 years, and they reacted on the user score. And like I said, the funny thing is, it has nothing to do with Sony. It has nothing to do with the development
So
team.
I will say this, and this is what I'm interested in seeing, is if a actual Xbox exclusive went to the PlayStation platform, would they act the same way we have? And at least embrace it, because it's not like 7.4 to 79 with only 5 reviews on Meta, and the same amount of reviews on user. I would think there's a lot of Xbox haters that hate PlayStation that don't want it, and I don't feel that's the case. That's why I love being an Xbox community member. I love that because we don't tend to hate things just because something else is involved.
Oh no,
we hate things because they suck. I'm sorry. If they suck, they suck.
All right, we got you, brother. We got you. Yo, shout out to RG Viper X hitting up that super chat. He said the reviewers, which is the Metacritic score, the reviewers are giving it a bad score because the game is multi-plat. So that is Viper's idea right there. Let's also Six Slayer. He said Metacritic, kill it with fire. That's right, brother. Meta who? Can you believe that we're talking about Metacritic?
I feel like he's like one of the kids from Lord of the Flies.
You brought it up. It's your fault.
Yeah, it is my fault. Like I just couldn't believe it. I was like, is the game really that different than the past iterations? I'm like, I don't think so. But let's bring our resident angry otter in on this. Yo, Dark Optimus, I think that you feel almost the same as I feel when it comes to Metacritic. But dude, this got to be interesting to you. Like, what is going on here? Why is the show on PlayStation not for this year rated so low in comparison to other iterations, man?
I think the most interesting thing is that this is a baseball game, and Crispy still had the audacity to bring up Gears. I'm just saying. But no, man.
Kill it with fire.
Kill it. No, honestly, dude. For this, I think for the reviewers, I think they were expecting too much. To be honest, I think they were expecting way too much. They got to realize that like this game's going to be on multiple platforms, not just current gen, but last gen as well. So you got to factor in that. You also that's why I'm not really like damning the game that much. I mean, would I have liked to have seen more improvements with the PS5 version? Yes, of course, but I think they were expecting a little too much. from this game because they were like, well, it's in a new generation now. It's gonna be, that's the thing. Like, yeah, sometimes they make the games, better for the next generation, but you gotta realize, like, they had a year to make this game, really,
Well,
and they were working from home most of the time, probably more than likely. So, I mean, I'm not really damning them for that. Um, I think the user score is just a bunch of butthurt babies.
Butthurt
Honestly,
babies.
butthurt babies. I think they're just butthurt, dude. I think they're just mad that Xbox got this game. I'm not mad that Xbox got this game, dude. If it like Crispy said, if an Xbox game came to PlayStation, oh, I would totally play it. But that's if I didn't have an Xbox. Um, I think it's ridiculous to downplay a game just because it goes to a different platform. That's so stupid. Like, to me, that's completely dumb. Like you can have that mentality of, like, you like PlayStation more than you do Xbox, but you don't have to be like, well, I'm gonna downplay this game. I'm not gonna buy this game because it's going multiplat. Like, that sounds completely stupid.
Especially if you
And
were championing it, like last year, the
exactly,
year before.
exactly.
true.
If you were championing it before, like, why aren't you championing it now? Because, like, you should be, because you want it to get better. You want it to be better, because if it's gonna be on multiple consoles, it should be better, right? I mean, and then, of course, bringing in competition too would make the show better, and we haven't seen that yet. Like, I wish that, like Crispy was saying, 2K. I wish 2K would actually come back into the fold and make a 2K baseball game. I don't think they can, simply because MLB owns pretty much the show. The developer is really just San Diego studio. They
I don't
really
think
have.
there are exclusive rights to like Major League Baseball games. It's just nobody else has made one.
I think they not they. I mean, MLB has exclusive rights to baseball games, but nobody had, like you said, nobody has made one. Yeah, but um, I think that's the thing. I don't know if it's just like they adore the show more. Maybe I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's crazy, man. But
Oh,
I
dude,
think I
Chris.
think with the Metacritic stuff, man, it's so lame.
Well,
Honestly,
Christopher
like,
Hart seems to believe that it wasn't Sony fans that review bombed the
oh my
PlayStation
god.
version of MLB.
Th-
Even
I mean,
though
there's
Xbox guys can play the freaking game on
yeah,
their
like,
Xbox, I don't. That's
yeah,
weird.
I don't know why they would review bomb the game if it's on Xbox. Like, I don't. If it's already there. I mean, I could see some petty ass shit where they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go review bomb it on the PlayStation side, so then more people buy it on Xbox." But that's completely stupid. Um, it's just another fanboy bullshit crap with Metacritic. Like, that's how I see Metacritic. I always see Metacritic as that fanboy bullshit shit. Like, like, just this game is a 69, so it sucks. It's like, no, there's some good
Dude,
games that are in the
Metacritic
60s.
is fanboy fuel, and so is
It
NPD.
is.
So is NPD.
It is, dude. It is completely fanboy fuel. It's ridiculous, man. This shit is getting out of hand with that fanboy crap, man.
Get 'em, Doug.
I just wish that fanboys would just, like, stop. You're not winning anything
Sounds like you're
in this.
shaking one of them when you're saying, "They just stop." Just grab them by the shoulders, and you're just shaking them. You stop, man.
You're not winning. Like, you're not winning anything. You're losing.
You're not winning anything.
You know,
You're
like,
not. You're not
there's
even gonna get a gold star sticker at the end of this
you don't
generation.
you don't have tiger's blood.
Oh wow! Wow.
Like, like that's how I feel like they act. Like they have um all this money in the world to say that, oh well, you know, fuck PlayStation or whatever. It's just like, dude, come on, man. Like, honestly, does it really matter if a game goes to PC or a game goes to Xbox or a game goes to PlayStation? That just means more people are going to buy the game, more people are going to be playing the game, and it means we're going to get more of these games later on down the road instead of just, nothing at all.
Okay.
So like, they need to stop with that shit. It's
Alright.
so stupid.
All right, I got you, man. And before we get to Predator, shout out to Emmanuel A1 for hitting up that super chat, brother. Thank you so much for the support. He says, "Hey guys, any idea if the newly announced Xbox Series XS audio pass-through feature will fix any lip sync issues?" I have no
I don't
idea,
know.
brother. I have
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea. You said you know what he's talking about, or no?
I know I don't know what he's talking about.
Audio
No
pass-through
idea.
feature. I'm gonna have to, Emmanuel. I'm gonna have to look into that. Like I said, I've
I
been
know about
working
the audio
with
pass-through feature part. They're talking about that as an update coming, but I don't know if there was any lip sync issues. But I can't answer that question.
Huh. Interesting. And, Emmanuel, you got me something. You gave me something to look into, man. I will check it out. Message me on Twitter so this way when I do find out
I
an
mean,
answer, I can send it to you.
Are you having issues with that bot at all?
Lip sync?
Yeah, lip syncing with
Like-
with games and stuff.
Like
Or
cutscenes? No.
Yeah,
No, movies
I
definitely
mean-
not. I've
and
been falling asleep to The Hobbit for like the last week.
I mean it could be the device he's using. To be honest,
Well, if he said issues, maybe I think Emmanuel. I think he would. He wouldn't just talk about his issues. You might have seen that it might be widespread or whatnot. But that is interesting, bro. Like I said, you gave me something to look into, Emmanuel. Thank you so much, man. I definitely appreciate that. Predator, what do you think about this whole Metascore debacle going on right now? The newest MLB The Show got rated about 10 points lower than previous installments. Why? Why, Pred?
So I was looking at some of the remarks from people who played it that actually the legit ones that were on Metacritic for the PlayStation 5, and they were basically saying that the road to the show was broken. That the people who actually chimed in and had legit complaints about the game. I only looked at the negative scores, so there were like 19 of them, and they were saying there's 47 I think for the PlayStation 5 and 19 on the Xbox side. Now, of course, I looked and I scrolled through some of them. Some people were posting the same. Again, these are user scores. They're posting the same shit on the Xbox side as they were doing on the PlayStation side. So those are trolls. If you notice, if you look at the user scores, they're either 10s or 0s. There's like hardly any like 8s or 9s, like 7s or anything like that. It's either 10 or 0. So that obviously is going to skew the score. And it wasn't just people saying, "Oh, I'm going to review bomb it because it's on Xbox." There were people in there with legit that had played it. At least they said they did, and said that the road to the show was broken. It was the same as last year. There was no innovation in the game. That kind of deal. So the user score part of it, yeah, that's probably why. And I kind of took more account for the PlayStation guys who wrote reviews than the Xbox guys because, again, we didn't have a baseball game before. So I think the scores are going to be slightly higher on the Xbox side just simply for the fact that we've been starved from baseball games for the last several years. So the ones that I saw in the user side scores, the ones that I took legitly, they actually had some serious gripes and complaints. Their review sounded legit, and I just hate that they gave it a 0. That was the falsity of it. They should have said, "Hey, I like X and Y and Z, but this game feels like last year's game. I'm gonna give it a 6 or I'm gonna give it an 8." They just give it a flat out 0. So I can't really take any credit. I can't really give them a lot of credit for just saying 0. Give me no game is a 0. I just like hardly any games are ever going to be a perfect 10. Somebody put some effort into working that game. Maybe at least give the motherfucker a 4. You know what I'm saying? But a 0 is kind of harsh. But for the legit side, the companies that did it, I found it weird that there were only like 5 reviews for the Xbox. Yet there was like, I'm looking right now.
22.
There was a lot more for the PlayStation 5, obviously because those guys have played it. But on the Xbox side, okay, let me see. How many were there? I can't see. It's not showing me right now for whatever reason. But it was significantly higher on the PlayStation side than it was on the Xbox side. So I have a feeling like right now the PlayStation 5 is sitting at 78, and the Xbox side is sitting at a 79. I have a feeling that the Xbox side will probably push in the lower 80s by the end of it all. But I don't know. I mean, like if you're gonna, like I said earlier, if I'm gonna take in account the reviews, I want to take more account with the PlayStation side of the fence, how they review the game, because they've played it. They played the previous versions of it.
Yeah.
They know what changes they've made. So like us on the Xbox side, we're gonna be like, oh, Spaceball's great. It's an 85, you know. So looking at the gripes and complaints, again, they're valid ones. So like I think that they just kind of got in the same rut that EA does with Madden. You know, it's the same game. They just reskin it and send it to you again. I'm not going to give them any. I think Dark was saying like, oh, there's COVID going on, et cetera, et cetera. You know, they're working from home. Like, we can't use that excuse all the time.
Dude,
I
can't wait until it's been long enough that we don't hear about that. You know what I'm saying? But then
Well,
we're gonna hear about it like 4 years down the line. Be like, you know, when they began production, there was that whole COVID thing.
But the thing is, they still have the same tools available to them. Just because they're not in the office, you know, coordinating, you know, stuff face to face. Like you can still talk things out using a phone, Skype, Teams, whatever the hell they use in their offices. Like you can still have meetings and discuss things and collaborate together. So that's not an excuse to say, oh, the game's broken because, you know, we didn't have, you know, a lot of time to get to spend together. Like, okay, if that's the case, then it's okay to delay it. We've seen that plenty of times this year with games being delayed because of COVID. That's an excuse to use. But like to say like, oh, we couldn't make this the best game possible because we work from home. I work from home. I can still do my job effectively, you know, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that can do it too. So that can't not be an excuse going forward for every single game that comes out that's broken or that's had issues, because we were having broken games previously before COVID started. So that's just an excuse for those people. But the scores of this game, I think, are just lower. Like, I mean, I know everybody wants to say, oh, it's because it's on Xbox. I don't think that's the case. I think they just kind of fell in this trap where they were just like, oh, let's just send them the same shit. You know, let's just put a reskin on it and just like, you know, change some stuff up a little bit and not do certain things. Like, yeah, could they have been able to do, like, if your complaint is motion capture, you know, and they couldn't get motion captured in because of COVID, they couldn't get anybody there, I'll give you that one. The animation and stuff like that, I give you that one. But for anything else, like, you know, stuff that could have been done without physical people being there, it would, like I said, the complaints aren't coming about that. They're coming from this, you know, the road to the show part being broken. So it's just like no innovation in the game whatsoever. I think Crispy was saying it too. Like, you got to have somebody else make a baseball game. That way you guys can, you know, compete against each other. Don't just take it and buy it up and then say, hey, we're going to make this for everybody. Like, that's not the American way. Like, we need options. And like, once you take away that option and you just follow that same, you know, boilerplate template, making a game, it just becomes boring. And I think that's what's happened right here. People are just like, hey, this game isn't good anymore. You guys need to innovate a little bit more. So.
Okay. All right, I got you. And I feel like we went a whole 162 games talking about the show, and that's something that Predator is not going to do in his career. So it is time to move on. Now, this was a little bit earlier in the week, and IGN, I actually came across a tweet by IGN that pointed this out, and I'm going to read real quick. Days Gone creative director and writer John Garvin said that if you love a game and want a sequel, you should buy it at expletive full price. And what he is talking about, of course, is Days Gone and how it recently came out that Sony shot down the idea of a Days Gone 2. And basically, you have the creative director coming out, and the way I'm seeing it, because he also pointed to God of War, and he was like, if you notice God of War, how many millions did that sell? And that's, of course, that's getting a sequel. All right. He said, so, when a game comes out and you want to support the game, you need to buy it at full price, is what he's saying. So the way I'm reading this is he is blaming the gamers out there for not getting a sequel. And I got to ask the panel, and I'm going to start with Crispy on this one. What do you think about this guy's comments, and do you think he is pointing the finger in the right direction when it comes to Days Gone not getting a sequel? Is it the fans? Is it the gamers out there? Should they have bought this game at full price, brother? Let me know.
No, they shouldn't. It was broken. Everybody at launch said it was broken, and they quickly reduced the price, as they should. Now, the other thing is this OG, as we like to call him, clearly is an OG. Forgets that he was renting from Blockbuster at some point in time in his life, and I never played full price for games. I lived right up the street from one. I was gladly paying $5 and having that game for 3 days, and if I liked it more, I would keep it longer. That's the way it rolled. And then down the line, they actually gave you an option to be able to purchase the game if you wanted to. Took a long time for them. Took Netflix to kind of kick them in the butt, but it was a little too late. I just happened to be right up the street from one, so I watched the downfall myself. And you got to understand, this is a totally different demon. This is you're sitting here telling me that your dev, Ben Studios, at the time didn't get enough funding. Is that are you butthurt about that? And now you see what Xbox is doing for even third-party devs, and you're like, well, what the fuck? I can't handle this. This is not right.
I don't think it has anything to do with Xbox.
I watched it. Sure it does. No. It has to do with what he didn't get to experience. He said the game was not really finished in his eyes. So I don't know what to tell you, people. Maybe you would have got a better game if, Sony didn't try to push it out. That's the way it looks like at this point.
Dude, do you think he's pointing the finger in the right direction when it comes to why Ben?
No, he should be pointing at Sony. That's what I'm saying. I mean, let's be serious for a second. You're butthurt about something. You don't like the way another company's acting, and apparently, even though they did him wrong and he doesn't have a job anymore, at least at Sony, he is still cool with Sony being his keeper. Or they're paying him to do it. I don't know what.
He's still under NDA, dude. That's why he can't.
I don't care. And we can get into that wording of that contract later, because from all I see from people that are in the legal realm, that looks like a legitimate contract between Capcom and Sony. But we'll go into that probably later. The point is that, Xbox is playing a different game right now. If they absorb or pay for a third, who the hell is playing cards?
What is going on there?
Stop shuffling cards, mother truckers. Okay. The point is that Sony does not know how to go about this at this point. And the beauty of it is that they're doing exactly what they've done before. This week, all of a sudden, Sony's announcing a bunch of stuff that can be somewhat considered pro-consumer. Is it good for the company? I don't know, but at least they're being pro-consumer, at least in some aspects. So I'm cool with it, but at the same time, I know like Microsoft probably lost millions, even if not billions, trying to be pro-consumer. And the thing that Microsoft can do is they can lose billions, and they don't really give a shit. If they see the light at the end of the tunnel, that's what they go after. And I feel like right now Microsoft's playing a different game. They're saying, you know what? We got plenty of stuff to show you all, but you know, Sony's renting our Azure servers. Why not let them have the glory this week? I'm going to be honest. But at the same time, they're still shooting themselves in the foot, which is what Xbox used to do. Xbox is always shooting themselves in the foot. Their social media team would shoot themselves in the foot. Now, all of a sudden, it's just, this indie game showcase, that's basically what you call it, third-party indie game showcase that they had is kind of trash. And I agree with you on that. But at the same time, what else you got to talk about? You know, you just got the show. You just got Outriders on Game Pass day and date. You just had NBA 2K21 come in there, Madden. The casual gamers, all of a sudden, Xbox is speaking to them, and they're saying, hey, when these next-gen consoles are available again at any time, why not come play for $15 a month? Why you – and wait, the free-to-play initiative just, like, launched, didn't it?
Yeah, today.
Yeah, so –
or yesterday.
You know, so those casual gamers that love Warzone and Fortnite and all that, oh, hey, we're letting it happen. Like, we're doing it. You know what I mean? They're just kind of nonchalantly being like, PlayStation, what you got, bro? Come on. We want to see you rise up. I almost feel like they're like sitting there like trying to use their mentality on them and be like, hey, come on. Put your AAA bangers day and day in your service, and we might have a challenge now. But they won't freaking do it. Instead, they're going to add movies. Come on, people. Are you serious? You want Venom? You want that old Venom? You want Spider-Man Homecoming?
I like Venom.
Well,
Yeah, I
you
like
like it
Venom too.
how much? You like it how many times you going to watch it, Bob?
Dude, I've already watched it like 10 times at least.
Well, you really like it. Man, you must have a love affair with Tom Hardy. That's all I got to say, bro. But
No, I have a love affair
that's
with Venom, okay? Dude,
But-
Venom and Carnage are like two of my favorite like comic book characters, yeah.
So apparently the only reason why I like that movie is because Tom Hardy is Venom, and I think he's hilarious. But that's my dry humor, I guess. At one point, I would say, why are they doing all these strange things? And like this week, they act like they woke up. You got Returnal coming out, everything else. You act like you woke up, but at the same time, you're still staring like a deer in headlights at people. You're not talking to the community. Why can't they do that? They know it's there. It's
They've
not
never
going to
done that,
go
though.
away. But they could, at some point,
They've never done that.
at some point, goddamn Godzilla is knocking at the door, bro, and he's like, boom, 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 and all of a sudden that shit breaks down, and you're sitting there, and you're just gonna stare like a deer in headlights, or are you gonna do something? And you're a $1 billion corporation. Let's see it, dude. Like, you've acted like you cared at some point, or gamers wouldn't have loved PlayStation, especially in the PS4 era. And Xbox did the exact opposite in gamers' opinions. So now you got to wake up, because gamers are paying attention to all this stuff way more than we used to. Okay, so wake up, start talking to your community, at least a slight bit more. Like this week, I felt like they talked a little bit more than I ever seen, but it was through the developers. No, Jim Ryan, you got to talk to your community, bro. I'm sorry, you got to do it. You're the head honcho. People hate you. People want you to like go 6 feet under, bro. Like, you gotta talk to these people, because people are having in their feels, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but somebody's got to say something that's at least a little bit bigger than just the developers making the games, and then the PlayStation, a Twitter handle themselves. You got to have one of the heads talking to some of your loyal fan base, because they acting crazy right now. I'm just saying.
All right, man. Let's You know, it's funny. Everything that you said, like I could see it tied in to Days Gone By. I wanted to keep it closer to what was said, and kind of like, you know, in terms of who's really to blame here, and this. To me, I'm like, this dude has the audacity to point his finger at the gamers out there when they came out with a new IP. And he compared the new IP to God of War. He was like, "Well, look at God of War and how much that sold." I'm like, "Dude, you're coming in with a no-name game. Like, nobody really knew what to expect."
Keep in mind, he's not employed at the studio anymore, people. I completely... he's not, and I completely look at him as having zero relevance.
Okay.
And the worst part is even though he's unemployed at the studio that is owned by Sony, he's still kissing Sony's ass.
Oh, damn.
So understand where I'm coming from. I look at people like that as having zero credibility. If you are been fired by that company, okay, Ben is owned by Sony. Let's get it straight, okay? And it's just like these, that, you know, all of a sudden you start to see these new partnerships coming up. No, they're owned by Sony, okay? Freaking Capcom. I mean, I feel like after that leak, might as well be owned by Sony.
Oh,
So
damn.
what are they doing? Okay, you got to play ball. I get it, but how dirty are you going to get?
Well, Crispy,
dirty
if
are
you want
you
to
gonna
talk
get?
about Capcom, you gotta let other people get the mic now, because we gotta get through this to get to the whole kind of like Sony thing.
Well, no,
Okay.
I just threw it out there. I did not get into it. I'm just saying.
No, but if
how
you want to be
dirty are
able
you
to
gonna get?
before time runs out, we gotta move through this Days Gone thing to get to the other Sony stuff, the rumors and supposed leaks out there. So, with that being said, yo, K Mega. You got this dude from, I guess, used to work at Bend, creative director and writer for Days Gone, saying that the gamers should have supported this game by buying it at full price, and you can tell he really wanted that sequel. But is he pointing his finger in the right direction here?
Hell no, he's not. It's actually disrespectful. In a way. I mean, listen, I know that everybody gets proud of their product and well, whatever that they do. I mean, it's no different than, you know, you're proud of Next Podcast. I'm proud of GRG. You know, I'm proud of everybody else is proud. You know, there's just so many other people that's doing projects that I'm sure that they're proud of and feel that they should have a million people watching and listening to every time that we do something. But that's just not the damn reality. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The reality is your game was broken when it came out at launch. If you had the issue about the reason why the game didn't get the green light for the sequel, then that's the problem that you should have with the publisher. Because they forced you to push that game out at a certain time. Not the fans. I mean, because if you look at it, you have 6.5 million people that supported that game.
Hold on, real quick, yo, Christopher, you don't like Halo though. So why are you so pumped right now with what you're saying in the chat? And you said the creators of Halo, Mass Effect, and I think Destiny 2 earlier. So who are these people? Because it's obviously not the whole studio. But my bad. Go ahead, K Mega.
Oh, I guess because I think that they're getting hyped because they seen something that was posted in the PlayStation. On a tweet about SOCOM, and that would be
the initiative got people who helped create the latest Uncharted games and stuff like that. So we should be hyped for that as well, right, Chris?
Well, I mean, I don't even understand that. I mean, we know that that developers come and go. It's only when it's a big time developer and they leave, in the middle of. Of a project, not towards the end. And from my understanding about the guy that's formerly that's at Ben Studios, that left Ben Studios, he, what, you hear me?
No, I said I said nice for bringing it back, bringing it right.
Oh
back.
Yeah. I'm bringing it back. And so, is that he left on his own accord, from my understanding. So regardless of that, for him to still even try to compare his game to God of War is asinine. That's just, that, I mean, that's like me kind of comparing my channel to PewDiePie or some shit. I mean, like, come on, man. That is not even not even the same league. So the thing of it is that you just have to accept the fact that, look, listen, you had in my eye, a successful new IP, but it was just like kind of like we talked on Devin the Gamer. It was just like what Don was saying. Like, maybe there could have been a whole bunch of other factors as well, on top of the fact that the game didn't meet Sony's expectations. For one, the game didn't hit their Metacritic score, the proper Metacritic score. And that we've heard rumors about Sony going all in about, hey, we want those high Metacritic scores. And that game didn't get it because it was such a mess at launch. And I own the game, I play the game, I like the game, but it's also of a genre that has been beat to death. I mean, I understand when the game got made, that probably when Dead Rising 3 came out, it's probably when they started working on the game, and probably by the time that they thought that they got done, it wouldn't be as many zombie games around. But yeah, I mean, there was tons of them, and most of them failed. And in the sense of his game was successful. So I should look at it as a situation to where you blame Sony for them trying to have these higher than reasonable expectations especially for new IPs. Yeah. But listen, they're the ones that pay the bill, so there shouldn't be any reason why anybody should be. Well, he should be upset at the gamers for holding back and relaxing, because I've not heard anything from Cyberpunk about them bitching about anything. Matter of fact, I hear them over here still trying to, throw a little shade about, look how many games have we sold. Even as we return so many games, we still hit over 13.3 million. So, and our game was atrociously bad for, for most gamers. So it's like, listen, man, they didn't just come out and say, Sony didn't come out and just say that game was not coming out at all, or it wasn't going to get the light of day. They just turned it down. They just turned the pitch down at that time in 2019. So there still could be a possibility. I just think that what he said was just completely I don't know. He just didn't have any. He wasn't thinking clearly. I just think he was just in his feelings.
I think he was sniffing glue. Might be a habit of his or something like that.
Yeah,
man.
Like, it just didn't make any sense whatsoever, man.
Dude, I don't know how you blame the gamer. Especially there were so many gamers out there on social media that were sharing Days Gone when it came out. That were sharing like clips. We're praising the game. The zombie mechanic, like the hordes of zombies that would come at you and kind of flood over themselves and stuff like that. There were a lot of people supporting that game, and you just basically shit on that whole community because Sony, you didn't live up to Sony's expectations. So you need, like, in my opinion, you need to point the finger at Sony real quick as to why you're not getting to do a sequel, man. But to the gamers, come on, bro, that's insanity.
Somebody who's completely out of touch.
Yo, for real. Predator, what do you got to say about this, man? You got this dude going off at the gamers saying that they should have supported this game and buy it full price, man. What do you think about what he's saying here?
Well, the full price thing is stupid. Like, if you can save money, save it. Like, you shouldn't tell someone like, oh, we all know how this shit works. Like, a game comes out and within a couple of months it's marked down in price. So I looked up and I wanted to see like just kind of the history of this game. The game got announced 2016, I believe, and it had an original release date of 2019, and then they pushed it. That's not right. I think they pushed it to. I have notes here. Hold on. It came out originally. They wanted to come out in 2018. It got pushed to April 2019. They actually had to push it back to April because they had it in February. Which, if you remember, what came out in February 2019, you got Anthem, which was at the time the hot shit. You had Crackdown 3 came out in February. Was supposed to come out in February, and then Metro. And so they pushed it back away from those games to kind of give it, a little bit more polish, is what they said. And when I looked at what came out in April, there was nothing in April like that would have even competed with that game whatsoever. So um, they put it in a time slot where it should have been successful. Like K Mega said, we had enough zombie games. Like I think everybody's zombied out right now. So that might have had a lot of play in it too. The game didn't look bad, but it was fucking completely broken when it came out. And so, and this is also a testament to like, you know, those leaks that we got about the game. You can see fucking the dude rolling a motorcycle through the ground. That those things came out before the game came out.
Or you see characters
Like those leaks.
keyframe and like gliding like through
Yeah,
the
and so
gate.
like when that stuff, it makes you like kind of sit back and be like, maybe I shouldn't get this game right now. And so I think that's what a lot of people did. Like they saw the bugs that were in the game, like we're not going to get this yet, and it didn't sell well. And then when it dropped in price, they fixed the bugs. They went back and got the game. I mean, but you can't be like, okay, we want you to pay full price, and then the game's fucked up. Why would you do that? Like, I mean, like we can see it. Like we see the game's fucked up a month before launch, and like you're telling us, like, yeah, we got this fixed. I as a consumer would still be in the same boat. I would have waited too. So I mean, why pay for 60 when you can get it at 40, like 2 weeks after they get it, or you wait for a patch? And I think that's what a lot of people are doing now. Like we used to like rush to get the game in the beginning, but we have a backlog of games now. We did at one point in time. Some of us do, and so like, why buy that game right now and just let it sit there if you know you're not going to play it? Be a smarter consumer, you know. So if they're mad because the game didn't sell well, look at yourselves. I wouldn't even say look at Sony. Stop releasing broken games. Like we're smart consumers. Like we can see these leaks. We can see this bullshit that's going on with these games broken. And I, for one, won't buy one if it's broken. I just won't. I bought the last game I bought was Cyberpunk, but I got it because I got the console, you know, that came with it. And it's like that game was broken. I haven't touched that game, simply because I wanted to fix it before I play it again. And the game you're showing right now, like only reason I fucking played that was because it was the Game Pass. I would never bought this game with it being broken the way it was. Anthem was broken. Like all these games are like fucked up. I will say Cyberpunk sold very well.
Welcome to x86 architecture, man.
Yeah, like I mean, like you can't blame the consumer for not wanting your product because what we saw of your product when we saw the leaks of it was that it was fucked up. That's on you. And you had more than enough time, I say, because there wasn't COVID going on at the time. They had more than enough time. They had multiple delays for that game, and maybe Sony saw the writing on the wall. Like this could possibly be a decent franchise, but do we want to go through this again with these guys? And you know, make another Days Gone right now? And you know, I always look at when they cancel, you know, sequels. Like, what are you going to replace it with? And that's, you know, that's a whole different subject. But so what has Sony been working on now?
New IP.
A brand new IP. So
Yes.
they put more money into a new IP than the sequel. I thought maybe they just it didn't sell well, and the Metacritic scores didn't hit what they wanted to hit, and that's why they yanked it. But it has nothing to do, and he's not even there anymore apparently. So like, obviously the problem was him. So,
Obviously, right? They got rid of him and they're making a new IP. So
yeah, there you go. There's your
Wow.
answer to the question.
nice. Yo, Dark, what do you think about this ex-Ben Studio developer here saying that, you know, it's basically the gamer's fault that there's no sequel, that they needed to support this game and buy it at full price, man? What do you think?
I mean, it's always the gamer's fault, right? I mean, you know, like it's always the gamer's fault, man. No, fuck that shit, dude. Fuck that motherfucker, dude. I'm sorry, but like I will support you as a developer, but I cannot get behind you if you're talking that craziness. You know, like you're talking like nobody went out and bought that game. I bought the game, okay? I didn't have those same issues that a lot of those reviewers had. I didn't have a lot of the issues that I think a lot of the other gamers had. But that does not mean that those issues did not exist. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think for him to come out and say this is complete bullshit, because it basically the gamers spoke with their wallets on this one. You know, they said, I ain't buying that shit. If it's coming out and it's not performing really well, I'm not buying that shit. I'll wait till it's on sale. Which goes to show you that gamers are not they're not stupid. Like I feel like devs think that we're stupid. I think they think we're stupid. I think they think we're like we don't know what we're doing or what we're talking about. We just sit there and buy their games and that's it. You know. Um, but here's another thing. How are we gonna put our full hard-earned money into a new IP we don't even know anything about? You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
Like we didn't know anything about Days Gone.
But yeah, he's
The only-
trying to compare it to God of War, which has been
Right.
out for like, that franchise has been around for how long?
It's
bro?
been around for a long ass time. I mean, David Jaffe was the one who started God of War, you know, and I think Cory Barlog brought it to a whole nother level, but that's a different
Yeah,
story.
don't jump level. Got you.
I enjoy 2018 God of War, but yeah,
Of course,
I mean,
you also enjoy movies. I can see the correlation right there.
well, of course, dude. You know, like I like story. All right. But I think it's just it's crazy, man. Like how are you gonna blame? How are you gonna blame us for your mishaps? You know, I think he needs to blame himself on this one.
There's
Like,
a little bit of
like,
denial there.
yeah, I think some of it had to do with Sony. Yeah, some of it had to do with Sony probably being like, you guys got to get this game out of here. You guys have had this much time to make it. A little bit of it is on Sony. They shouldn't have.
I think Sony's guidelines, because I think the Metacritic score was definitely part of it. I think their guidelines were way too steep for a new IP. To be really honest with you.
Yeah, especially a new IP that's like hasn't been proven, but also is a genre that we've seen time and time and time again. I mean, how many zombie games are we gonna get? You know, like I love Resident Evil, and I'm glad that they're taking it into a whole nother level with Resident Evil 8, and they did that same thing with Resident Evil 7. So I'm absolutely ecstatic that they're doing something different besides zombies. So like, and then now like what we got that Back for Blood, which we haven't seen Left 4 Dead in a long time, but
Yeah.
it's it's the same developers as Left 4 Dead, so I think that game's gonna be great, but that's because that has been proven already. Like we know that those developers can make a good zombie game like that, so I think they did not. I think they pitched a game, like K Mega said, around the time probably when the Dead Rising 3 came out, and it fell to the wayside with gamers because they're like, well, we already have The Last of Us. Like, I don't even know why we need another zombie game. Like, or we have this other game. I think there was there's a couple other zombie games that were coming around at the same time. Too many. There's just too many. So,
State of Decay.
State of Decay. That's right. Yeah,
and,
State of Decay.
Yeah, I mean, and then of course with the failure of Dead Rising 4 and.
Yep, Dead Rising 4.
Yeah,
so it's like
Dead Rising 3 was so much better than 4.
It was too oversaturated with shit, So they just. I think they just didn't. I think Sony's just like. I even think a lot of people who were like. Didn't buy the game. They're like they said, oh well, it's too oversaturated with zombie games, so I don't want to buy it, which is understandable. And then at least Sony's giving them another chance to make a different IP. Like it could have been worse. They could have just said, fuck Ben Studio, we're shutting them down, we're done.
I think
they're done.
That would have been major. That would have been
Yeah,
a major
it would've.
reaction. Like I don't. Oh man. I don't know.
It would have been a huge reaction, and people would have been like, "What the fuck?" But because I think Ben does have some potential, but I mean, they haven't really made a AAA game since, before Days Gone, they really didn't make AAA games since like what, the PS2, PS1 era, you know? So like I just hope that their next game is not a zombie game, to be honest. I mean, I like Days Gone. I do like Days Gone. Days Gone was fun, for what it was. But yeah, don't make another zombie game, please.
I got you. Yo, shout out to RG Viper X hitting up that super chat one more time. He says I like this. I like this right here. He says there shouldn't be a day one patch for any game. Developers need to do their job and release a complete and well optimized product day one. Then people will buy it for full price. Maybe.
I think those days are over,
Maybe.
Jack.
That x86, man, that gives them that, you know, they're writing their code on an erase board. You know what I'm saying? Like they're
I mean, if gamers start, speaking with their wallets, then maybe, they'll stop. But I mean, there are a lot of games that get way too much hype around them. They get like Cyberpunk. Take Cyberpunk for an instance. Everybody was hyped for that game.
Cyberpunk's a great game. Yeah.
Cyberpunk is an amazing game. I see why the hype. Of course,
it's not a bad game. It's just it came out bad.
Yeah.
It was broken. Yeah. And that's the problem, is that these games cannot come out broken. And it's leaving people with, a lot of like, what the fuck is going on with the industry?
Dark, it's funny you say Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk is one of the reasons why. It's one of the reasons why I am most likely getting storage expansion for my Series S.
Because it's huge, right?
well, it's smaller than the Series X size. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with all these games going into Game Pass, like I re-downloaded Grand Theft Auto 5, not online. I downloaded Grand Theft Auto 5 to play that story.
The single
again.
player. Yeah.
Yeah, because that story is absolutely incredible. I don't know why. Like, I feel like the story gets forgotten about with Grand Theft Auto 5 because everybody plays online, shark cards, and all that good stuff. But the story in 5 is really, really good. So I started playing that again. NBA 2K, you got the MLB TheShow. There's so many big games, big game sizes. And I have, Watch Dogs, Legion, which...
and you also have a little hard drive in that console, too.
Yes,
it's not very big.
And, of course, Cyberpunk as well. And I want all these games kind of like at the ready. So this way I could just jump in and play them and whatnot. So that would be why I'm going to be shopping for the memory expansion. I know some people call it memory card, but it's...
I know the memory expansion on Amazon is $14.99, so it's a little bit cheaper than
$5
by like $5 or $4, somewhere around there. Yeah. So.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. But guys, we have come to it now. We have come to the rumors section here.
Bring it.
What happened?
Nothing. I'll say bring it.
All right. So, I see in our DM, we have some supposed leaked documentation of Sony's dealings in the dark alleys of the gaming industry. When it came to Capcom and Monster Hunter World, supposedly with this leaked documentation, and Predator, I'm going to go to you first because like you had an idea about where this might have come from, and I don't want to steal that. I want you to shine and you to say that, so this way I can just shake my head at the microphone like that makes sense. But when it came to Capcom Monster Hunter World, that they paid Capcom to keep the PC version of that game quiet. What else did they pay them for with it?
Keep it off Game Pass.
That's Resident Evil, right?
Yeah, whatever. They're all the same company. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so hold on. I'm pulling. Confirms that Sony paid to have the PC version of Monster Hunter World delayed and the announcement of its existence pushed back. They did the same for the Iceborne release. They are also the reason that crossplay and cross saves were not enabled in Monster Hunter World. And then not only that, but again, these are all rumors. I don't have any verification that this is absolutely true. But I guess with Resident Evil Village, Pred, what were they saying about Resident Evil Village? Keeping it off Game Pass for a year?
Something like that, yeah. Like it could never go to Game Pass, I believe is what it said.
And it cannot have a higher overall native resolution on the Series X. So, Predator, we got Monster Hunter World. You know, we got Capcom games here, and supposedly Sony working in that, again, in that dark alley in the back of the gaming industry, cracking these deals. Again, rumor and speculation here. But what do you think about these supposed leaks or whatnot? What do you think they're real? Do you think there's a source to these? What do you think's going on here, and how do you feel about it, bro?
So if you guys remember, they got Capcom got hacked, I guess, was it in 2020, like late November 2020 by Ragnar Leaks. And so it kind of leaked out their entire roadmap and stuff like that.
Hold on,
so,
real quick. Yo, Viper, don't do that, brother. Do not do that, bro. Go ahead, Fred.
I saw that. So they put that, they basically hacked the company, and I guess maybe they're slowly pulling out stuff within the documents that they got. Because initially they had the roadmap for these games, which seems to be legit. But the documents that we just read recently, like that is complete. If that came from those leaks, complete bullshit. That's just like shady practices. Now I get that every company is going to do what they got to do to make their side more profitable, but like I can even get past the whole like exclusivity for like a year type deal. But when you are purposely putting verbiage in there to keep it, to make it look better on your console, because you know that you can't have the best looking version, or you're keeping it off of Game Pass, or you're keeping it from the other competitor, just from being a decent game, you're downgrading the game to make it look better on your system versus the other. I think that's complete bullshit. And again, rumors, we don't know if this is 100% true. But I'm reading the tea leaves, and I'm kind of thinking, like, you know, who the fuck's gonna make a fucking document this long? And so, you know, that verbiage that I'm reading, that's lawyer speak. You know, that's not like some random ass kid in the basement, you know, eating Oreos and shit. That's shit that you would see it. Yeah, that's the shit I would see in documentation for the job that I do. Like, that's how that was worded. It was broken down. It was like, and the fucked up part of it is like, and I think I said this in the chat too, like the fact that it has the word confidential posted on it, no one's gonna talk about that. Like that's like that gets people in trouble. Like that's, you know, not necessarily like top secret type shit, but like you signed something.
So if this is true, because of all the confidentiality, nobody can actually come out and like say anything about it. They'll just sit there basically with
it's like signing an NDA.
Like,
and it's funny because we never see these deals. We never see this verbiage like on a deal. Like we hear like, oh, we signed this and it won't be discussed, whatever. But this is the first time that I've ever seen it where we've actually been able to read it, you know. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like Microsoft has not probably done some deals kind of similar to this in the past, but not with this regime. There might have been some Donnie D type shit, but not with Phil. Where you know, their stance is like, we don't care where it goes, we're not going to hold it from you or whatever. But like, you look at the stuff that's happened this past gen, like Sony has kept DLC, they've kept characters, they've had stuff that was released like a year later, like maybe they held something for 3 months or a month. Like, they've done deals like this in the past. So when I read this, it looks legit to me. It looks like something they would do. And like, as a gamer, it don't matter what fucking console you're on, like, as a gamer, that's fucked up that they would do that, like, to purposely keep a game from looking its best on another console because you can't get your shit together. Like, that's fucked up for all the gamers out there.
Now,
even if, and the thing is, they got PC involved in it too.
Yeah. Oh no. That's why Pred's mad. But
No. I'm mad.
yeah. Don't talk about my PC. Like, don't do that to my PC. But Pred, again, when it comes to the source, I think you said something really interesting, and I think people out there need to hear it. You know, really let it kind of like soak in. So when we're talking about where this might have come from, you said something off air. Can you repeat that to let people know and really let it kind of like sink in? Because I think that makes the most sense if this is true.
Are you talking about how they? I think I mentioned the hacking part. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
How they got hacked a while back.
Really,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah. Just like
So yeah, they got hacked. I think in late 2020, and they basically had this is Capcom talking about. Basically, had everything exposed as far as their roadmap goes and what games they're kind of coming out with, and so far, what we saw in those leaks is happening. You know, like those announcements and stuff. So like I kind of believe this is true.
this is part of that,
the group,
right?
yeah, the group that did it is called Ragnar Leak. But I don't know exactly where this documentation that we're looking at came from, but I'm pretty sure it kind of trickled down through that.
Okay. All right. Again, this is crazy. Yo, this is one of the things like people ask me why I kind of look at an awkward angle at Sony and PlayStation. Like I didn't like their guerrilla marketing tactics when it came to the PS4 in the beginning of that era. I don't like the tactics and the business practices that they use in the gaming industry. And again, like, you know, in terms of comparisons, I never liked like the Call of Duty and Xbox thing when that was a thing and stuff like that. So I don't, they practice things that I don't like, which is why I think this is feasible to be true. When it comes down to it, it sounds like something that they would do. And real quick, yo, shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat. What is up, brother? Bro, I have not seen you on the golf course in a long time, man. We got to get together. We got to roll around to 18 at some point in time. He says, Capcom leak shows Power Stone 2024. Yes. Oh, brother, if they come back with Power Stone, that'll be absolutely insane. You know I am down. I am down for that, bro. That would be awesome. Yo, thank you for the support, Sir X-Man. Definitely appreciate that. Let's go to Crispy on this one. Yo, Crispy, you had to see like the supposed documentation in the DMs for the next podcast. I got to ask you, you heard Predator as well, and you know, with that Capcom kind of like that hack and kind of taking all that information and stuff, that's what really gets me to think that this might possibly be true, and it's part of that. But what do you think about these dealings here? Do you think they're true? And if so, like how do you feel about how Sony is trying to do things, man?
This is exactly what Sony's doing. So you know what? I'm gonna throw some serious shade real quick.
Oh, get ready. Put on the glasses.
You ready?
Ready?
Because here's the thing. This documentation by most legal experts looks legitimate. Not only that, Capcom was hacked. Somebody deliberately put this out here, and it looks legit. And the funniest part of this, because we get to see it, not because another company got exposed, which could happen, but we get to see that what console's holding what console back now?
Oh no! Oh no! Hashtag no parody. Hashtag no parody.
Because here's the thing. All right, I almost feel like some of these third-party devs might be able to easily make some of their games 120 FPS, but I almost feel like they probably have a small little contract with PlayStation saying, no, you can't do that. It has to be at least the same weekend, or it can only be this spec higher, or something. We're at the point where they're worried about fidelity of video games. This is some shady shit, bro. I'm sorry. Okay?
That 1440p,
This game is supposed to be at the least eventually third party. Okay? But at the same time, PlayStation does have a large player base. People care about that. So we're not saying, well, we'll release both games at 64K, and then there's options involved with one or the other, depending on what they do, or this, that, and the other. They still want to get their little kickback that they get for releasing on consoles. They get a little kickback. I'm sure they do. So what is this? What is this shit? Okay? Everybody want to talk about the Series S holding back consoles. The One X. The One S. Holding back consoles. How about this wording right here? You can read it for your damn self. Because this is shit you read in an agreement contract. Okay? This is an agreement. Like, go read the shit that you say, I agree to the agreement with Amazon or whatever service you're using. Go read that shit. Looks exactly the same. If somebody honestly took the time to make this shit up and photocopy it or do whatever the hell they did, number one, kudos to you, but number two, you have no fucking life. Get a job. Okay? But this is what I'm talking about. If they actually fabricated this, I would be extremely surprised. On top of that, who released it? I have no clue who they are. So maybe somebody else could shed light on who they are, but I have no clue who they are. I don't even. It almost looks like a sock account. So exactly what a hacker would do. By the way, just saying. Maybe somebody deep down really loves Halo, Gears, and been shutting up for a long time. Was just like, you know what? This is what Sony's doing. They're holding back the damn Series X. That's what I think's going on. At least for a lot of games. At least, especially any game that they have freaking rights to. This says within 7 years. A 7-year span. That's the entire lifespan. And we know they're going to come out with a mid-gen refresh. Come on, people. Get your head out of your ass. If this is true, I'm not saying it is true, but if it's true and it looks like it's true, there's a problem here. And it ain't on Xbox's end. So all y'all that are saying that Xbox hold back shit, y'all better read this shit. Because this is bullshit. Sorry.
No, nothing to be sorry about, bro. Because like I said, like you said, if this is real, there is a problem here. And I know, no matter what industry is out there, businesses do shady practices, but it doesn't mean that people have to roll over and just accept it either. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that again, this is like, we're like disclaimer central here. We're not saying it is true, but to the educated eye, there's a lot of legal speak in here, like Predator
lingo.
And you don't have, like, when you enter a courtroom, words that you usually say have a completely different meaning when you're in court. And it's the same way, when you're writing up contracts, words that you would normally say or normally write down would have a completely different meaning. There's a whole different flow and structure to legal speak or law speak or whatnot. And there's a lot of that in here, which makes you think that there is some legitimacy to this. But let's go to the angry otter himself, Dark Optimus. Bro, what do you think about these supposed leaks, this documentation? Do you think it's real? Do you care? What is the deal?
I'm going to tell you right now, I've read a lot of contracts and I've signed a lot of contracts in my career. And without a doubt, I believe this thing is real. Without a doubt, I think it's real.
Bomb drop tonight.
Especially when I was reading it, I was like, yeah, that's a lot of lawyer lingo that they throw in to kind of confuse you to sign the contract. That's why you always get a lawyer to read your contracts with you. And then also, I just think that I think it's shady. I do. But I also am thinking to myself, like, they have a marketing rights with this game, so I understand why they're doing it, because they want it to be the best on their console, but it is definitely shady. It's definitely a shady practice. I never liked that type of practice, of trying to hold back games looking better on other consoles. I don't understand why it matters, because I mean, your player base is going to come and play it on your console anyways, because they're especially the fanboys, they're not going to go over to Xbox just to play the game. Like, this is, even if the game looks great on Xbox, they're not going to do it. So I don't honestly think that they should put any of that type of stuff in their contract. But to hold it from Game Pass, um, it's kind of understandable because of the fact that they don't have their own type of service yet. I mean, they have PS Now, but I mean, we all know what PS Now is. It's kind of like, yeah, it's okay. It's not like the best or anything. I just think that I think Sony is just, I think they have just really kind of, I don't think they've lost sight of anything. I just think that they thought, hey, you know what? If we want it to look and run best on our console because we have marketing rights to it, we're gonna have to put this in there because we don't want the competition to have the best looking version of the game, which I think is I mean, they even did it with Batman. I mean, if you look at Batman Arkham Knight I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't look great on Xbox, because it does look great on Xbox, but it looks a little bit better on PlayStation because they had marketing rights. So it makes it look like, well, how come, so this contract coming out and stating some of these things, it sounds very legit, and it sounds very like, okay, well, Sony's playing this little game of trying to hold some of these games back from being played the best or looked the best on separate consoles, which, like I said, it's understandable because they have marketing rights, but
Yeah,
still,
but see,
it's like
marketing rights.
right. It's like marketing rights. Does
Now
that
you're getting like what they
really?
call superiority rights at that point
Right.
in
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So it's like, is it? I understand that you're doing it because of that, but I mean, do you really have to do it because of that? Like it just feels like what they're doing is just trying to anger more people,
real quick,
and
real quick.
it's
I'm
not good.
sorry, Dark. I just wanted to address Interloper, and I guess my brother Pred deleted the message, but he said that $1 trillion company couldn't counter this, huh? And it's like, dude, is that really what you
No,
want from
they
the
can't.
well? Is that
Well,
really what you want from the gaming industry? You want two companies like buying superiority over the other in terms of multi-plat
right,
games? Like, do you
right.
really want like these companies putting money to make sure that the other company doesn't have the same overall resolution or a higher overall resolution and stuff like
Right.
that? Like, why would you want that type of battle?
I
Pe-
would
In the
want to
industry.
judge
people,
for myself.
people,
I'm just saying.
people kind of make it seem like, oh, well, here's the thing, like people are always like, well, the gaming industry is different from film and music. I'm like, no, it's not. It's pretty much the same shit. There are some stuff that are a little different, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same thing. And these shady deals happen all the time in the film industry. They happen all the time in the music industry. Um, especially in the music industry. If you're a new artist, never sign a 360 deal. Ever. Never, ever sign a 360 deal. Because that just means they just fucked you and they didn't even say thank you afterwards.
With
basically.
sandpaper. They just
With
sandpaper.
Exactly. Do not ever sign that. If you're a new artist and you're listening to us right now, never sign that deal ever. Or at least have a lawyer look over it. Please do that.
Make sure it's your
but yeah,
lawyer, not the music
right.
company's lawyer.
Exactly. Your lawyer. Exactly. Thanks for that, bot. Yeah, definitely your lawyer. Yeah, man. I mean, like these types of contracts happen all the time in every single one of these industries. So like, it doesn't surprise me at all. But also at the same time, I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself like, it's crazy, man. I mean, the entertainment industry is crazy in and of itself, but these types of contracts just make it even more crazy.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny because you say entertainment industry, and you know, with us growing up, you know, we've always had video games in our lives, right? But the video game industry has grown so much now that it is a part of the entertainment industry. And with being a part of the entertainment industry, you get some of the negatives as well as the positives.
You get the backdoor shady deals for sure, dude.
Yeah. Now, yo, shout out to Sir X-Man real quick. He said true gamers, hitting up that super chat. He said true gamers care about gameplay more than graphics. And Sir X-Man, I definitely hear you on that. You know, graphics are all well and good. Trust me, yo, a pretty game is a pretty game. But if it's a pretty game that has no solid gameplay to it, then it's trash. It's absolute trash.
It's like it's good to look at for like maybe an hour or two, and then you're like, yeah, I'm done.
Dude, it's one of the things, and I know people will disagree with me on this, but it's one of the things when it came to Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, yo, the game was pretty, and it had me captivated for a while in terms of its graphics. But once the prettiness started wearing off, I started getting used to the background and you know the swaying of the grass and all that good stuff. I'm like, and you know, getting into the story and so I'm like, yo, this game is pretty boring in my opinion. Like, it's pretty, it's incredibly beautiful, but for me, it was boring.
I actually didn't finish it when it first came out. I actually finished it later on, just because I was like, I'm bored. I'm not playing anything else, so I have to finish it. You know, and I finished it later on. The story's not very great. You know, it's kind of like, you know. I think that's what kind of stopped me from when I first played it was the story was kind of like.
Mother help you.
You know.
What was that?
I think he's
all mother help you.
I think he's playing baseball or something.
No. I'm talking about Horizon Zero Dawn because everything was all mother and all that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. All that
all that jazz.
I mean, I like the premise. I like the premise, but the story could have been a lot better. Like they could have taken it into a whole another direction and made the story a lot better. You know, and hopefully the sequel's a lot better than the first one.
The sequel is going to be prettier. Like, yo,
for sure,
guys. I've already gone on record that some of the stuff that you saw in that trailer was actually in game. I put it out there.
In game, probably cutscene or whatever. Yeah.
No, I think that's the way it's
in game PC.
Oh, he said PC. Oh no.
Oh yeah, probably. I would not doubt that one bit.
Day and date, baby. Day and date.
I guarantee you that will be day one on PC. I guarantee it.
Wow. Well, we're dropping all sorts of bombs tonight. Yo, let's get to K Mega on this. Yo, K Mega, you heard the rest of the panel, bro. And yo, I think Dark dropped the biggest bomb because we all know he does deal in, you know, the movie industry. He deals with contracts like this and stuff, and he's basically like, you know what?
And I do some shady ass shit in the film.
We can. Yeah, I can imagine, dude. I can absolutely see that. But yo, even K Mega, even Dark was like, you know what? This looks real. What do you think, bro? After hearing all that, like, do you also think this looks real? And how do you feel about this, man? Because there are people out there like, this is just the industry, this is the business, and I'm like, well, why do we have to accept it? What are your thoughts and your feelings on this, man?
Well, I mean, as a person that just a couple of months ago had to sign a lot of papers and have lawyers go over those contracts and things, um, uh, through my work and everything, yeah, nah, they look very authentic. I have to say that too. The fine print, that's why it's crazy because sometimes, and I don't always do it. I think I've done it once. When you go and you play a game, and then you got all of the fine writing before you go and you accept, and it's so much content to read. And I think I've done that one time back during like the 360 days, just reading through everything in the contract. Because after I got hosed from PlayStation, during that hack back then,
Yeah, 2011.
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
yeah, I started paying attention, and then of course you get laxed, and then you just go through it, and I don't even go there. And I'm just like, man, let me just hurry up and get. Man, there's a lot of shit here. Boom, boom, just let's ready to play. But that right. I mean, listen, the cat is out of the bag. Sony is afraid of Game Pass. Sony is afraid of Microsoft. They do not want. They knew, and I think and I can't remember what podcast that I heard it from, but there was some admittance that this could have been the PlayStation 4. If it didn't do as well as it did, that could have been the last PlayStation. They were on their last leg, and now because of what they've done and how they've made their business model be set, that's why they don't want change. That's why they don't want this innovation like that, because they already know that the competition is well ahead of them there. They look from some outside entities, and then they're looking like, oh man, and then they got more money than the company combined. So then they're looking like, man, all of these companies. So what are we gonna do? We're a huge company, but we're nowhere near as big as. I mean, only competition that we liked it when it was just Sega and Nintendo that we had to deal with. Now you're dealing with a Microsoft that's hungry. You got Google, you got Amazon, you got angry Microsoft now, or more determined. I should say angry, but more determined Microsoft.
More determined, yeah.
Yeah.
Gaming is a bigger focus on
Microsoft
now than it ever was.
And so now you're looking at Nintendo still being Nintendo, not going anywhere. Matter of fact, actually creeping up on your sales count and taking some of the space, and then also really pretty much moving you out of your own home country. So I mean, just being real here. Like it's just not me trying to be, he hates PlayStation. I don't want to hear that shit. No, this is just reality. And this contract just seems pretty legitimate, because remember, we go back to 2013, and what happened is that they went ahead and they supposed to have some kind of agreement with Microsoft on, oh yeah, the price. This is what the price is going to be. Oh yeah, we're going to do the same thing as you. Then Microsoft did what they did, and then what did they do? After supposedly having the same price or having some kind of negotiations that this is what these consoles were supposed to cost, and Sony undercut them, then not only that, so Microsoft was over here stumbling back. They start talking about DRM. Then they also start talking about, hey, they're trying to take away hard copy games.
Oh, not only that, but PlayStation, they were also going to have a camera bundled in the box as well. And they pulled that last minute.
For the PS4.
They was, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they could do things like that, and then also tell you that resolution is something that really make you a better gamer. Then on the opposite side, tell you that all of their games is 1080p. And then when the first game comes out, you find out the first multiplat that comes out, which was Watch Dogs, wasn't. And then when people say, when people find out it's too late now, they're the darling. PlayStation is back. They wrote that, instead of them getting put to the fire like they should have for so many things that they turned about and they lied about, they rode the wave of being the darling, because nobody from the gaming media did not want single player games to be taken away, because they started giving out a narrative to other gamers out there and to the gaming media that, oh look, Microsoft and all the rest, and EA and all the rest of these evil companies are trying to take away your single player experiences for multiplayer loot crates, loot boxes. You know what I'm saying? So Sony rode the wave, and now this contract, to me, I was talking about it with Don on Devin the Gamer. Don don't, he's Don ain't gonna really go deep into the weeds with it. He just didn't think that it was truly authentic like that. But I know deep down he knows that was, because the thing to me was, if you go back as well, there's another thing. I remember listening to this guy. He's really big now. It's Dream Shape. He always do like NBA 2K games, and his thing was back then was that because of the whole resolution gate stuff, well, Microsoft begging 2K executives, please do not, please make the games have parity, because we can't. We got, and so what he said was that the person he never gave a name. You know how that was. He never gave the name of who told him that out there for 2K games. But what he was told was that because Sony's console was so much more powerful than the Xbox One, business-wise, it wouldn't look good to show how Sony's version would look so much better than the Xbox One's version. Is it true or not? Who knows? But I remember when there were so many people talking about no parity. So now we got people that wants to make the excuse and say, well, oh man, it's a business. Everybody does it. I'm sure Microsoft. Listen, I'm sure that there's some shady shit going on in Microsoft in something in maybe with
they're a corporation. There's shady
corporation.
Shit going on.
There's some shady shit going on, but I don't think that Phil Spencer runs that type of ship there to where it's like, oh yeah, we want to make sure that we keep the no. What Microsoft wants to do is kill the competition softly by putting their hand on your shoulder, and then you look and you see everything Microsoft right around you. Oh shit, how did this happen? Damn, I got hooked. You know what I'm saying? They're going to kill you more with niceness than they are going to try to bully you. I mean, look, man, Sony just exposed themselves, in my opinion. And I mean, you can see it right now, just everything. Why is it that you can look and find PSN for $20 right now?
Huh.
PSN is $20. Remember when they were talking about, oh man, this is the console. This console is only for gaming. It ain't for TV. What's going on now?
You see Sony
movies
Sony
movies
that
and
advertisement that got pulled.
Bruh, that means to tell me that they've already conceded. They already say shit.
In Poland, though. That was in Poland, so I don't know if that would be coming to the United States.
Poland is a very smart country, and I would appreciate it if you don't deal with stereotypes.
It's going to be coming to the United States as well. I'm sure of it. If I'm wrong, then I'll admit that I'm wrong.
Well, I think Poland was the test subject.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, we've seen this before where they've done stuff out there in the Netherlands and out there in Poland and stuff like that, and then eventually it came about a year or so later. But
PlayStation tried to do their own cable service on the PS4.
Yeah,
man.
Right.
PS TV.
Yeah, PS TV.
He laughed.
Listen, man. When I seen the show Powers being put up, and then I'm like, whoa, this is a TV show. Why is everybody jumping on Quantum Break? Why are they jumping on Microsoft Studios?
But that TV show sucked compared to Quantum Breaks.
Oh, okay, but regardless, it still didn't matter. It was right there in everybody's eyes that every time that Microsoft would do something, Sony would undercut. So why would this contract look like, oh, no, that ain't Sony's way. Sony has been that way. They came in on the fuck shit from the get when they had beef with Nintendo. What makes you think that company ain't going to sit here and try to keep their same tactics and do it in gaming? They've been doing this shit ever since Nintendo.
That whole what you said, that whole fuck shit is the reason why PlayStation actually came about.
It exists.
Yes.
I mean, think about it. This is the thing to me is where, and then I remember at the time I was mad at Nintendo, like Nintendo fucked over Sony. Come to find out, it was Sony that was screwing over the Nintendo. And so Nintendo was like, no, we don't want your shit. We good. So again, I'm just thinking as a gamer overall, like, okay, we got exposed to some of the dirt that goes on in the gaming. Yeah, this is. Does it happen all over the place? I have no damn earthly idea. But what I do know is that if we see anything else from these leaks that seems to happen, if we don't get a Resident Evil 8 on Game Pass or something of that nature, or if we see a graphics difference, and if that comes out like in let's just say Digital Foundry busts out and say, oh man, the PlayStation's performance is so much more better than the or just enough to get people to start saying, wait a minute, this we was just being advertised that the Xbox One, the Series X, is going to have RDNA 2 architecture inside the box. PlayStation 5 is not, and this is outperforming the PlayStation, the Xbox Series X like this. If that happens, then I don't think there's no denying that contract is real as shit. And if I'm Microsoft, I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and make some calls. Sega, Capcom, Konami. Hey, how much you want? How much you want?
I just had a random thought while I was sitting here typing that last message. And like, what if this is like the deal they've done with all their Japanese-based studios, which is the reason why Microsoft just can't seem to break into that market?
It would make perfect sense. I mean, it just, I mean, it just does. To me, I'm looking at it as a person who loves fighters, and I always keep saying this. If you follow me on Twitter or wherever, I'm like, how the hell is it that a game like Guilty Gear Strive, the game, it doesn't sell very well. It's very niche, but it's a well-made fighter. How in the hell is it that it does not come to Xbox or even Nintendo, for that matter? How is it that other fighters that just doesn't come over to get the opportunity to expand their audience? I don't get that. And now looking at that contract, Fred, I think you wanted something, man. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense.
I think sometimes you have to put some of it on the devs though too, for taking that bag.
Well, that's what I was
taking that money.
Real quick, I think I forgot who it was in the chat. They were talking about, I think it was All Digital. Where was it? But basically, it's a two-sided coin here. Like, Sony put something out. Oh, it was about Red Dead Redemption 2 and how it looks so much better on the One X in comparison. And my whole thought was, well, Rockstar said hell no to all that, but Sony had to kind of like Sony had to bend because it was Rockstar and they were dealing with a new Rockstar game. You remember Red Dead, the hype that was built up with Red Dead 2 when it was coming out and stuff like that. Like, you wanted your console to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think Sony just had to say, they had to rework the agreement because Rockstar was not going to play ball like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And that goes with what Dark said, because you have to look at the developers as well. And it's so weird because if this is true, like when it comes to Capcom and not putting games on Game Pass, like who in their right mind at Capcom would say no to that? You look at what Microsoft and what Xbox is doing. Like every deal is different. Every deal is catered to the developer. From what we've heard from developers that are have their games in Game Pass, it is quite lucrative. Not only that, it gets their game out there to a lot more people as well. Like, why wouldn't you want your game in that service?
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's why it looks so suspicious overall. Is because it's like, that's why I was saying, that it seemed like Sony is conceding to the fact that Game Pass is just something that they just can't do, or especially can't do right now. They're just too far away, and until they can come up with a plan that can counteract, then listen, if we're going to give you our money, this is what you're going to do. And Game Pass is not going to be anywhere in the future for this IP right here. And listen, if look, I've said this before, money talk, bullshit walk. So if you're going to go ahead and throw that bag and it's very enticing, I mean, everybody has a limit. Everybody has a price. So I mean, and it seems like Capcom has a big one. Has a lot of prices. You know what I'm saying? Today. So
I feel like we're gonna see a very different thought process from Microsoft compared to Sony. Sony's really locking down these single player games still, and it makes sense. It does. I'm not saying it doesn't. Like, for your fan base, this is what they love. This is what they enjoy. Yes, they don't always buy every one, but they probably buy a lot of them. Yeah, Days Gone. I mean, if you want to go that route, I'm not thinking that. Like, I'm thinking like some people bought Spider-Man, some people bought God of War, some people bought Ghost of Tsushima, some people got God of War and didn't touch Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? So you're catering to your fan base, and I totally understand that completely. But as I've said before, the casual that is like, there's a lot of people nowadays that are striving to be a Twitch channel member and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, have all that clout that they think comes with it, which me, it's just like, hey, you actually get to make money. Golf clap for you. Have a good day. The point is that Xbox is going after those type of people. They're not going after the single player. They're going after people that like congregate on gaming. And it hasn't been perfect at times, but it's still a lot easier. At least from the people that I have played games with that play multiplayer on PlayStation and Xbox, they say Xbox is much better if they're honest with themselves. And that's the whole point. It's much easier to congregate in the console itself, on Xbox compared to PlayStation. And that's also because Xbox has a lot of multiplayer centric games. And I feel like if we're going to see some third-party deals from Xbox, there's probably going to be some type of multiplayer involved. That's my opinion.
Okay, let me make a point too to what somebody in the chat just said. It says Sony is only protecting their investment. Anyone would do it. Now, okay, so it would be a different story if it was just with their IPs and they were just keeping their games on their platform and they locked it down like that. And it's like twofold, because now they're trying to take the Xbox approach and put their games on everything. And then for games that should be on everything that are multi-plat or have the access to be put somewhere to where gamers can have access for a service that they pay for, they're playing for keeps. And then my other point too is this: go back to think about when the Metacritic score was wrong for, I guess, The Last of Us or something like that. And you remember when the journalist, I can't remember who that was, that came back and said that Sony contacted them because of the score? That type of shit right there. They think about that. Like, you didn't hear about, as many bad scores, reviews and things like that Microsoft got last gen. You ain't hear anything about Microsoft getting in contact with them. I thought that was odd as hell, because the fact of it was this was the game that got all the buzz, and then of course with the leaks and stuff with The Last of Us 2, and then all of a sudden, the person was just like, man, I'm not feeling this game. Sony contacted them for what? And then the person had to backtrack and say, oh well, no, it wasn't nothing like that. Sony shouldn't contact you anyway if you got the freedom to say what you want to say about the games that they make. So if they can do that, what makes you think that they wouldn't do this? That's the point.
I opened up a can of worms, didn't I?
We'll be talking about it tomorrow anyway. So
I think a lot of this is these dealings are happening because this is just how I feel, is that Sony can't buy a new studio.
No,
they can't buy any of these big name studios. So what do they got to do? They got to do the next best thing and get third-party marketing or third-party games over on their console, like Forspoken, which is a third-party game.
I still can't stand that
coming.
game.
which is coming out for PlayStation, but is also coming out for Xbox 2 years after.
2
And then, of
years,
course,
really?
And then of course they also did this with Final Fantasy VII Remake, which hasn't come to Xbox yet. We don't know when it's coming to Xbox yet, which doesn't bother me that it's going to Xbox. It doesn't bother me at all. I would like to see it go to Xbox.
I
'cause
feel
then
like
that means more people are going to be able to play it. But Sony just can't afford. I don't think Sony can afford to buy these studios, so they're just doing the next best thing by doing some shady ass shit.
I
That's it.
feel like Xbox is trying to just get that Game Pass finalized for Final Fantasy VII. That's my
That could
opinion
be,
on that.
yeah. I mean that's very possible. You know, like I
Mhm.
mean,
And then also, if you remember, it said in that contract that 14, that if it was under the exclusivity clause, then it would not be sent out to the other competitors' console until 14 days after the DLC comes out. So we can kind of judge it from that. That when we'll find out something about Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to Xbox
Good
after
point, dude.
the what's called. So yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. Also, I'm looking at this stuff too, and it's like, why would you pay for only the competition to put it on a subscription? Listen, if there's two people let's just say there's two there's two little companies and one is and they're both selling the same product. If one is more efficient on getting more people into that store, then you would think that the other company would figure out a way to get things going their direction, but not by trying to cheat. And if you try to cheat or try to do things dirty underneath the table, you'll eventually get found out and get caught. So I mean, look, you can if this was Microsoft, that there would be no excuses to it. And I'm sure at some point in time, Microsoft was pulling some bullshit strings like this.
I'm sure I'm sure they're still doing that, but they're not
Right.
doing it to the extent like what Sony's doing.
Right. So I mean, it's and if it gets exposed, then hey, for the people who's doing all this, let us know. But I mean, for right now, for what we can see, it's just these tactics just isn't. They're fraudulent, man. I mean, it's just foul.
Yeah.
It's foul. I mean, just think about Spider-Man, for instance, what they were holding away from. How the hell would you hold away Spider-Man from the Avengers, which is a multi-plat game, and then the people would tell you, oh well, it's business. I mean, damn. But if the Avengers was a big deal, then people would still be talking about it and bragging about it but if Avengers not.
Well, I think it's because that Spider-Man that they're gonna put in the game is the Insomniac Spider-Man. So they can kind of do that. That's something that they can do.
They didn't have to.
I know they didn't have to though. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly, they didn't have to do that.
They didn't have to do it because they looked at it as like, oh, we're going to sell more consoles because of this, and now it's going to backfire because they could have actually made more profit if they just let that Spider-Man be played everywhere. Because if you got that Spider-Man on the Xbox version, on the PC version, on that, people will still remember when you make Spider-Man 2. Oh shit, I got to give me a PlayStation. But because you held it, you still. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't think that.
I'm sure Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 are coming to PC.
I'm thinking they would too. Now, yeah.
Real quick, first off, shout out to Sir X-Man hitting up that super chat one more time, brother. He said 8 years of Sony rhetoric has come back to bite them, brother. Dude, the last few weeks, man, has not been good for PlayStation, and they're the PlayStation champions on social media now. They're hyping up Returnal as like a game that will be a masterpiece like when it drops, and I'm like, guys, are you really putting your chips in that basket, man? And
I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be good. It's just I don't know if it's gonna be.
Shout out to my boy Mooch, man. He is really like I hope he's getting a check from Sony for how much he is promoting Returnal, man. I swear. Shout out to Daniel Mirror X, and I believe this is the first time I have seen his name in Super Chat. Yo, correct me if I'm wrong, but he said, great show, guys. So he is having a lot of fun hanging out with us tonight. I know I'm having a lot of fun as well.
That's a gnosis, I believe.
Oh, for real?
I think so. Yeah.
All right, yo, shout out to you, man. Yo, appreciate the support. Absolutely insane, man. I think we could go on with this for a long time, but I think we need to start winding it down. We did start a little after 8:00, so I don't know if any of you guys got any final words before we get into outros and stuff like that. Now's the time.
Meta who?
There you go. Meta who?
I want to see Returnal make Days Gone numbers.
Yeah, yo, and then get turned down.
No, I never want a
That's
game to
disrespectful.
fail.
Me neither.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
yeah.
saying. I'm saying I just want to make
No.
good numbers since people are capping about it. I really do. So go
Honestly,
ahead.
I think
$70.
I think that game's also going to go to PC eventually.
I think
I do too.
it looks like something up my alley. So
It reminds me of Recore. So
It looks
play
awesome.
game-wise.
I'm definitely
gameplay-wise.
I'm definitely gonna play it, but I'm not like, oh my god, it's gonna be the best game ever.
Yeah, no, it looks good though.
well,
I'll play it.
and then when those people keep capping for whatever the hell it gets for a score, and then you go and say, well, it doesn't matter anyway. If you enjoy the game, that's what matters.
Mhm.
And then they go and say, but people are trashing it, and I'd be like, dude, that's why Meta who, right?
Meta
That's
who?
why Meta who.
Outro, who? How about that? How about we get to that?
Okay, let's get it done, yo.
Let's get Grandpa Pred to bed, man. Let's go.
I'm gonna be up late tonight, man. I got 3 days off coming up, but it starts tonight, and I gotta get my.
Oh, you want to do a
gaming in.
you want to do a double? You want to do a double with it?
No, I'm getting my
okay.
gaming in, bro. What are you talking about,
okay.
bro?
I'm gonna play Outriders. I mean, anybody want to play?
I don't.
No, he's gonna play Goof. Yeah,
Play
he's gonna play
Destiny.
Goof.
You're gonna play Destiny. They got that Guardian stuff or something or whatever.
Guardian games, baby. Guardian games. Yeah, dude, it's a lot of fun. Guardian games is fun. But anyway, yo, again, huge shout out to the chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. The chat has been absolutely entertaining. Love you guys. Love seeing the comments. You guys were really connected with the show, man. A lot of opinions and stuff like that in the chat. It is always a blast. And we got Pred's got the timeout hammer, and he's going full force tonight, man.
Patrol.
Yeah. But like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get those plugs in. And we usually go K Mega last. So let's bring K Mega first this time, man. So
all right.
you got a show coming up tomorrow that
Yes,
I know
sir.
you definitely want to let people know about. And I can just imagine the panel when you guys start talking about the Sony stuff. So that is going to be a can't miss episode. Let them know about that. Your streaming, your YouTube channel. You got a lot of stuff, man. So go ahead.
Yeah, I apologize for the people who may be in here that maybe was trying to listen to GRG last week. I was thinking that it was a YouTube problem, but no, it was a K Mega problem. The cable man found out.
I knew it.
Yeah, it was definitely my fault. There's a plug-in that keeps everything in power. I mean, well, like the internet and the cable and all that. And it's in my wife's office because now she works from home because of the fact of the whole COVID pandemic situation. So, anyway, she had to go to her job, and she was unpacking some stuff, and she loosened the cord. Well, the reason why it's my fault is because I'm supposed to be the tech guy in the house, and I was wondering why is everything tripping. I was streaming the one night, it was acting up, and then all of a sudden GRG just wouldn't work. It was acting, it was buffering. Come to find out, it was a plug. The cable guy was here less than 10 minutes. He seen it, and then he plugged it in. Everything booted back up. It was embarrassing. So anyway,
Damn, you had to call the cable guy. Oh,
yeah, we had to call.
Yeah.
So I went a whole day
dang.
thinking that our internet and cable was out because of some kind of shortage or something, and it was all because the plug was unplugged and I didn't
Yo,
go
can you
check it. So
imagine
yeah, it was.
Imagine the thought process from the cable guy on that one.
Oh yeah. Well,
he probably just looked at you like,
well, he didn't want to really mess with me because he was scared of Briggs because he thought he was like that dog was too big. He thought it was going to come out of his crate, but no. But so that was pretty funny. But other than that, yeah. GRG tomorrow night, 8:00 Central, the Lord's time. Got a special guest who has not came on the show. Well, it's pretty much kind of starting off the branding of our 4th year of doing GRG. So he came in. He was one of the original people who came in at the show. So Dealer will be on the show tomorrow night. And then after that, there will be other people going to have some more of the Iron Lords come back. So definitely come and check us out. Devin the Gamer, we did a show the other night. It is up on my channel. I will be putting that and the GRG podcast up on Saturday on Spotify and all that. So go check us out there. And then of course the return of Fight Night every Sunday night. I gotta get revenge. We can do Mortal Kombat. I mean, but not everybody has a Series X though. But
I
still
do.
ain't working, huh?
yeah, well, Sir X-Man doesn't have it, but if Sir X-Man ain't playing, then yeah, we can all play Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, Sir X-Man has seemed to be a little distracted lately, and I just can't
I
put my finger
know.
on
So
it, man.
so you can be distracted, Sir X-Man, for next week. I mean, for this coming up week, and we can get some MK in because everybody has newer systems. So by this time, so yeah. But anyway, we'll fight. Anyway, shout out to Sir X-Man.
Sounds like shade right there.
I know that is some Sony shade right there. Anyway, so Sony contract shade.
He that TCL man.
But anyway,
is that what the contractor your panel has to sign when they join your? They have to have a new console.
They gotta have a new console,
and they can't drop any absolutely awesome ideas or opinions on any other podcast besides GRG. That's the only place.
They also can't play any games on PlayStation either.
No. They can play games on PlayStation and Nintendo. No, PC. No, you got to play games.
Oh, you don't go that shady. Okay.
No, I don't go that shady.
You're not Sony shady. Okay.
No. But you cannot talk greatly about. If the show is mostly about great stuff for Xbox, you cannot talk. No, I'm just playing. Just we ain't doing that. I'm just playing.
Dang.
But anyway, and then lastly, like I said, Fight Night, and then just check me out on Twitch. I'm streaming. We playing baseball. We playing Halo 5. We playing Outriders, and then of course tonight that Nier remake is coming out in here in about another hour. So I can't wait to see what that is. So a couple of clips on Twitter. So thank you guys. See you next week on the next podcast every Thursday night.
Nice, brother. And next we are gonna go to the man who is just waiting for his apartment to sink into the ocean. That's right, he goes to sleep in his scuba gear. The Angry Otter, aka Dark Optimus. Let's hear your outro, bro.
I go to sleep strapped to the bed just in case if we go down, I want to be comfortable when we go down. But no, man, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dark Optimus. You can also find me at Xbox and PlayStation at the same name. And you guys can always find me here on the next podcast, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Nice, brother. Predator, what do you got for an intro, bro? Outro, bro.
Intro?
No, we're gonna do the outro. We're not gonna pull a double. We're not gonna do another intro and keep going. So what's your outro got?
Check me out on OnlyFans. MySpace.
I don't have the soundboard. Yeah, no.
That sounds great.
Here we go. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen.
You missed it. You missed your chance there.
I never miss it.
How dare you talk to me like that?
We got another 10 minutes of outro, so I definitely won't have time.
Dude, we got one person left, man. What are you talking about?
I got right. There's a little bit more of Outriders to play until I do this last little section, and I'm done with that game. And then I'm moving on to something else. So I'll be here next Thursday, guys. So see you next week.
Nice, brother. And of course, last but certainly not least, the very animated, especially tonight, but always animated, Crispy Bomb. Crispy, let people know the other shows that you're on as well, and anything else, any place that they can go and talk games or even play games with you, man. You know the deal.
Oh well, thank you,
thank you,
Xbox448, for allowing me to be a panel member. But yes, of course, you can find me at Crispy Bomb on Twitter, Crispy Bomb 28 Xbox Live. We got Breakfast with Boom tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. And we also have Retro Renegades, 7 p.m. Tuesdays. And of course, you can find me on the next podcast, 8 p.m. Thursdays.
Nice, brother. And can you do me a favor when it comes to Retro Renegades? Can you get the people to stop talking about wrestling? Please.
Thank you.
Please. I had enough. And shout out to my brother Yobi, but damn, man, come on, bro.
Fighting for my life.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Wrestling is the.
No, you just literally spoke my truth right there.
Dude,
Wrestling...
did I just drop some crispy truth?
Yes, you did.
Whoa.
You did.
Monumental night tonight.
Wrestling to the bushes.
To the bushes, people. To the bushes. But
Ready the Armada. We will use the old ways.
Oh no. And that is the Snyder Cut K-Mega right there. Guys, thank you again for hanging out with us tonight. We had a lot of fun hanging out and just talking the gaming topics and stuff like that, complete with gameplay. In this community, this show is the originator of gameplay with the podcast, and it is so much fun coming together every Thursday. Of course, 8 p.m. prime time, and doing the next podcast for you. That was beautiful right there. Thank you so much for that. That was perfect. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us, and I'm gonna end the show the way I do every week. We will see you next Thursday for the next podcast. Have a great night, everybody.
Excellent. I am your father.
Where were we?
I was about to ask you for your favorite brand of feminine hygiene spray.
Oh, God.
I always use new Sweetfish.
Why Sweetfish, Miss Coos?
The voice of Master Chief, Spartan 117. And you're tuned in to Next Podcast. Now, wake me when you need me.